them now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show. Tune in where the thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. Happy 4th of July, even though it's tomorrow.
Happy 4th of July Eve.
Yeah, but when people watch this, they won't remember. They're drunk right now. They don't remember if they watched on the 3rd or 4th.
Not drunk.
So what's going on, chat? July 4th is tomorrow. Make sure you got all your fireworks. I don't think we're going to be able to light ours over here. It's raining. What? It's raining all day tomorrow. It's going to be wet. That's what it's going to do. It's going to be wet. And I bought some good stuff this year.
Yeah, so someone's going to lose a finger? Is that what's going to happen?
The only person losing a finger would be me, and that's not happening. It's not happening.
You keep saying that.
No. Well, yeah, because I have wicks. I established the entire show. Are you kidding me? I bought last year, I bought these long-ass wicks, and every foot is like 30 seconds, right? So I have it where it's set up, and I tie it all together, and then I just light it once, and then it goes. And we paid a lot this year. We got some discounts and stuff, so we got a good firework display going to go. Mini fireworks show. Mom and Dad are coming up, so they'll see the fireworks show. What's going on, chat? Generation X Gaming weekly podcast goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. We're live Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on 30NSG. We're also live over on 30 and Still Gaming over on Twitch. So if you're over on Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button. If you're over on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button or hit the like. Well, please hit the like button. Okay, if you're here every single week, you should be hitting the like button. Otherwise,
press the like button.
Why are you here? Right? I don't understand. There is one person, and I do appreciate you. One person hits the dislike button every single stream, every single week. Dedicated. I do appreciate.
I appreciate the dedication.
Yeah, dedication
comes back every time to tell you that I don't like you.
That's right.
Awesome.
Which we actually have a story that's like that. It's like the Barbra Streisand effect. We'll talk about that in a second. But you can listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. You can watch the past broadcast right here on 30NSG as well. If you're over on Twitch, you can watch the past broadcast over on YouTube or over on Spotify as well. And Sarge, I don't know if you know this, but I have an album.
No, I know
on all major platforms. Okay, it's called Perk Up, Press Play. Okay, and it's got 20 songs on there. I'm gonna advertise it because it's my music that I've created with AI, but I wrote all the stuff. They're very topical for what we've talked about on my morning shows, The Daily Grind and GXG and all this other stuff. So if you'd like to support the channel in some way, just go give it a listen. That helps us out. But if you'd like to purchase it, you can also purchase it as well. And it's almost on every platform. I think it's not on YouTube yet as far as for Content ID or whatever. That takes the longest process. But it's on like 34 different streaming sites. So go check it out. Appreciate it very much. All right, Sarge, how you been? Another week. What's going on?
Doing all right. Level 50. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch the entire series of Battlefield Friends.
Oh,
in homage to the game.
Those came out when those came out. They were so good,
Spot on, bro. Spot on.
Never again. They're gonna make videos, and I'll probably watch the videos, but I won't play the game. I'm done. I've decided today, Sarge. Well, we're gonna talk about Battlefield. Sorry, we're gonna talk about Battlefield. I'm done. I'm done with Battlefield because they're done with Battlefield. Battlefield is no longer Battlefield, and we have a story about that. On today's show, we are going to be talking about Stop Killing Games petition. We're going to talk about Anthem is finally shutting down. We're going to talk about PlayStation. Not PlayStation. I'm sorry. Alarming new statements from prominent leaker about the future of Xbox is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about developers call Microsoft's latest layoffs a colossal waste of talent from the publishers. We're going to talk about Mind's Eye relaunch and saboteurs. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Bethesda cancel funding for several unannounced games. We're going to talk about Marvel Rivals. We're going to talk about Elder Scrolls Online a little bit. We're going to talk about former Sony devs. Next game looks like Call of Duty, but with a huge open world. We're going to talk about Microsoft. We need a lot less employees and a lot more AI infrastructure. We're going to talk about, even before the Xbox layoffs, there was tension at Halo Studios. We're also going to talk about how many people were affected by the layoffs at Xbox. And we're also going to go over Phil Spencer's memo to everybody at the company. We're going to talk about Randy Pitchford, still ruining, still trying to sabotage. Talk about sabotaging. Trying to sabotage Borderlands 4 in some way, shape, or form. We're going to talk about Nintendo raising prices potentially. We're going to talk about EA Sports announces return of college basketball and what I think is the reason they're bringing it back.
We all know
what
about it is.
Backyard baseball. 2001 is making a comeback. And we're going to talk about Superman. We're going to talk about Superman. What is this? There it is. And we're going to talk about Superman and how the pre-sales have slowed as the $100 million opening or less looks increasingly likely.
Well, let's make sure that when we focus on some of these stories, there's a little bit of segue going to happen here from some of these stories. Let's make sure we keep the crazy train on the tracks.
Oh, we probably won't get through all these tabs, but this is what's planned for the show. But we, obviously, if we don't get to them, we don't get to them. It is what it is. You'll have to tune in and find out which ones we don't talk about. And then obviously at the end of the show, we have a Q&A that anyone in the chat can ask a question to us. And if you'd like to ask questions beforehand, the super chats are always open and whatnot as well. All right, Sarge, let's get to what we've been playing. All right, another week, another episode. What you been playing?
I mean, Sundays I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 with Travis, which is still hilarious. We barely won one of those massive battles inside of a keep by the skin of our teeth. That was kind of cool. I'm not used to, like I said last week, I'm not used to my wizard having this many hit points. When you're like a level 4 wizard, you just have like 12 hit points or some shit. I got like 26 or almost 30 hit points. It's crazy. So I can actually do some things. Found a couple magic items. It's getting a little bit better. The Battlefront 2 last night, hilarious. Love that shit. Love it. Love that game.
I love going back to that game. Battlefield's coming out, and I'm still going to be playing Battlefront 2. So,
well, I know people don't like turn-based games, right? But if you like, I don't want to say it's like XCOM, but it's a turn-based game. It's basically like Baldur's Gate 3, just done in post-apocalyptic.
Right.
If you haven't played Wasteland 2 or Wasteland 3, now Wasteland 1 was an old game done by, I'm trying to remember his name, Brian Fargo, from like back in the day, like 84, I think it was. And it took like almost 20-something years before they got the rights and the people together to make the sequel, which is a direct sequel of the game from 84. So it's a turn-based game, but it's post-apocalyptic. It's very difficult. It's not an easy game. It's not like you can wander around and everything's fine. Like radiation, you run out of bullets. You're going to be, let's put it this way, you're going to be reloading a lot. So if you like post-apocalyptic stuff and you want a challenge, you can get that on Steam, right? I think it's on sale. And so they're both great games. I played through the second one. I haven't played all the way through the third one. But
are they still on Game Pass? I think they're all on Game Pass.
I'm not sure they're on Game Pass anymore. I think a while back they were, but I don't think they're on there right now. But I own them both, so it doesn't really matter. Not really a lot, man. My little circle of games right now with the time I have, I just play the stuff I like. So I got Dawn of War 2 playing online against people. I got doing Spice Wars, playing online against people. I got Company Heroes 3. I'm playing online against people. This is the shit I'm into right now. Real-time strategy games I'm playing online. I'm waiting for Dawn of War Remaster to come out because I see the placeholder on Steam. It's there. The line is there. It says Dawn of War pre-order. It doesn't say pre-order. It just says Dawn of War Remaster. And I'm just looking. I'm like, no price, guys. You don't even want to say a price, do you? Because it's the original game from fucking 15 years ago or 20, almost 20 years now. Is it 20? That game come out. It's a single O's, right? So that game comes out and all the expansions. And so I want to know how much they want to charge for it. And all the graphics are going to be redone.
$30.
I don't know. I gotta be honest. I think they're going to shoot.
That's my guess. $30. What do you think?
I think $50. I'm pretty sure $50. 50. But I've waited this long. I can wait for a sale on that too.
There's literally
I played through it.
Yeah,
I played through it.
Look, there's so many games out there that are older games, right? Like Travis the other day said he was playing Battlefield 4, okay, and he's playing the campaign. I was like, I forget if he said if he played it or never played it, but the fact that we're in 2025, Battlefield 4 came out like 15 years ago, right? Something like that, right? And he's playing the game, right?
Well, let's put it this way. I went back. Remember the reason? Okay, let's see if chat remembers this because I know everyone's all giddy and they remember what they think they want to remember. But do you remember why you played the campaign for Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2? Do you remember reasons why you played the campaign? I'll give you a couple minutes to type something in.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to answer.
You can answer. I'm waiting for them to type in some stuff.
The reason I wanted the campaign is because that was the value on top of because you played the campaign first and then you played the multiplayer afterwards, right? It was $60. And if they never had a campaign, you would be like $60 for just an online game, kind of steep back then. So the campaign was like, cool. You get to play the game. And then that also got you familiar with the movement, the guns, the vehicles, whatever. And then you played you never played the campaign again. You just played the multiplayer after that.
That's correct. The real reason why you played through the campaign is because there were hidden guns in the campaign that if you found them in the campaign, they would unlock in multiplayer. Yeah. That was the reason why you played campaign. And if you went through the level and you didn't get the gun, you got to go back and play it again and try to find out where it was hiding because there was like 1 or 2 guns hiding on each level or section of the map. And so you had to look for them.
Jesus, Krebsy just said, public service announcement, don't play Call of Duty World War II on PC. It's been cracked, and hackers can gain access to your PC and everything on it. Nice.
Interesting.
Thanks for the info. So there you go. Yeah, so I loved all the Battlefield games. I mean, I really liked what they did. It wasn't like a campaign, but they were like small stories in Battlefield 1. I liked what they did with Battlefield 1. When Battlefield 1 first came out, a lot of people gave it shit because there wasn't a lot of guns. So they did
World War One.
Yeah, I know, but then they also did the experimental weapons that they brought in.
They brought in every experimental weapon that they thought that they knew for the time period to make up for it, because otherwise, everyone would just be shooting around bolt action rifles.
Yeah, but overall, what they did for Battlefield 1, the campaign missions that they did, the battles they picked, it was one of my more favorite Battlefields. Right, I like 3, I like 4, but I really like the old school wars. Right, I like World War II, the World War I. I like the modern warfare, but I like Bad Company. I like Bad Company for the campaign, and I also like Bad Company for the multiplayer of it. It was just so good because that was the first fully destructible environment.
Well, everything they did in Bad Company was to create the camaraderie and the reason why you played the multiplayer game, right? You played through the campaign of the 4 guys working together the whole time. That's the whole thing. And so by the time you get to the end of the game, you're like, these guys work together. And so you're playing a game now where everybody's got to pick one of the guys so you can work together. Like it's like training you to play the game before you played it. That's how it broke down, right? Yeah, you could double up on stuff, but like when you're in the middle of combat and someone goes, hey, there's a tank here, and nobody's the support soldiers, someone has to either kill themselves or try to find out how to kill the tank with either a rocket launcher, a one that's standing in the ground someplace and take shots on it. Like that was the cool part. Like even if you didn't have the weapons on hand to kill the tank, if you knew where the stationary weapons were, you could run over to one and shoot the tank.
Right.
Right. And the smart players would memorize the maps, and then the smart guys who were defending would destroy the stationary guns. But I always thought that in those instances, I think they brought it back, and I think in one of the Battlefield games where you could actually rebuild the stationary weapon, right? Instead of it just being nuked forever.
The reasons, Travis, I like World War II and older wars is because there's so much history and so many like people like Star Wars because they wanted to play the battles in Star Wars or like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. With World War II, it's actual history, and you get to play on the battlefield of what these wars were. And there's so many battles that happened over this time frame, and they've never done them all in any of the games. They've always do the major ones, or sometimes they do like the D-Day storming the beach of Normandy and stuff like that. But they never put all. They can constantly make more. What I don't like about the modern warfare ones is because they make it into the future where there's like drones and different things, and that to me is not really battle. It's like you're playing a video game, but you're the video game playing the video game. You know what I mean?
There's a certain amount of it that's fine, right? But like the ridiculousness of the Mavs running around with all these Mavs trying to find people and mark them. Like you anytime you come out with something cutesy like that, you're dividing the player base for where the firefights are going to be because people are trying out this other bullshit, right? So it's better to have certain gadgets and things on the players that they can use in close combat and fight each other than to have some guy hiding behind a fucking house being the mortar guy like he was in fucking, I forget which was it, Battlefield 4? I think it was 4. Was it 3? I think it was 4, where the guy with the mortar, he'd fire his 5 shots, then kill himself, or they put an ammo crate next to him, and he just keep firing mortar shells for half the fucking match, and you're like, what the fuck is this guy doing over here? The fucking mortar guy. Like, fucking annoying as hell, dude. Yeah, it's part of real battle, but like for the firefights and things that you're doing in Battlefield, fuck your mortar guy. Right?
Yeah. I don't know. I like the World War II stuff because again, you're living in that time period and you get to feel like what it was. Like Saving Private Ryan, when you watch it in the movies, you're like, holy Christ, like that would be horrific, right? But then when you played like the Call of Duty or other games where you're doing the storming the beach, you got to experience that. But when you do it 2042, you're like, yeah, it's fun. It feels too arcadey. It doesn't feel I don't know, it just feels out of place.
I remember raging. I definitely remember raging on Battlefield 1942 on the Normandy map because the spawn points were so atrocious for the Americans that just to get off the beach, people would like break their computers, smash their keyboards
because they couldn't get past it. Yeah,
because it had to be a well coordinated effort in order to use the destroyer to take out the tanks that were sitting on the hill in order for your guys to move up far enough that they could get into the pillboxes that were on them. Because
which is team effort. Yeah,
right. But it was rage inducing because the Germans had 2 boxes with machine guns and they put their tanks on the hill, and so basically it was like Saving Private Ryan. Like you couldn't move without getting slaughtered. Right. And so you spent half the match losing half your tickets trying to get off the beach. Never mind the next 2 points.
But it felt so good when you got on that.
But when you get off the beach, right. Yeah. If you got off the beach, you were like, everyone was screaming into the mics like, we got him.
So what other game have you been playing this week? Obviously, we play Battlefront. I still love playing Battlefront. We go back to it. There's this whole movement of everyone's going back and playing Star Wars. We've been playing Star Wars for years. We just constantly play it, like all the time.
It's a good lay back and just fun. Dude, how can you not have fun with the machine gun guy, the heavy guy? Like, you know where they're coming out of and just hosing the doorway. Like, how do you not have that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't pick half the other guys because I don't get the Gatling gun. Like, what am I picking everybody else for?
Do you think because of this movement, because they had the more people playing it on Steam? Obviously, there's other Epic and Steam. There's other places that people can play it. But do you think that this movement of happening right now with Star Wars Battlefront, do you think that a developer somewhere is picking up the phone right now and asking Disney, hey, we want to make Battlefront 3?
Well, I don't
a game like Battlefront?
No, I think what's going on is I think it happened to be, I hate to use the term perfect storm. I just think the planets are aligned right now, where you have certain games that are being played, but everyone's kind of like in like this little limbo area. Like they're playing their games, but there's nothing out there that's really like the gotcha game. Like this is awesome. We
Right.
all want to play it. So it's a concentrated effort amongst community fans to play Battlefront in numbers that say, where is the third one? Like, we know you can make it. Like, we like the game. We want to play it, but you guys won't make it because of all this other nonsense
Well,
that's going on in
there's
the
been
background.
2 attempts to make a third one, and they just never finish. They've always
because they can't release a game, bro. It has to be some kind of microtransaction ridden piece of shit. It can't just be the game. That's why.
I think 2 things. I think that they do hear it, and they are going to make a Battlefront 3. But my problem is, I don't think we're going to get Battlefront 3 before we get the Fortnite Battlefront. Okay, and what I mean by this is Star Wars next year gets to come into Fortnite, and you can start making maps and different things with the license of Star Wars.
We'll
and
see.
First thing people are going to do is make a large-scale battle over there.
Yeah, I think Disney's hurting enough to where they're going to want someone to pick up a license so they get some fees. I think Disney's hurting a lot. I think they want some money up front. They'll be like, "Does anyone make a Star Wars game?" And they're like, "We don't know, man. We don't know if we want to make a Star Wars game."
I just want a full-scale battle. Like, just make it like this, but take what the basis of Battlefront 2 and just make it better and make it crossplay.
I don't understand why they think that we don't want the same battles, just done better. Like, who doesn't want to be in the... I don't like the scaled down version of the Hoth battle. Yes, it looks good.
I want the Hoth battle.
Like, give me the Hoth battle.
Right. I don't want a chunk of the Hoth battle. I want the entire Hoth battle.
Right. Let us have the 5 walkers. Let us have the 10 snow speeders. Let us go at each other and see who can tie down the chicken walkers.
Yeah.
Right. Like, let's do that. The graphics are there. The map size is there. The player count is there. Just let's do that. Let's do the real battle of Geonosis, right? Let's do that. Let's do the battles. Megiddo. Let's do that. Let's do the real ones. I don't understand people get bored. The maps are too big. Oh, the maps are too big. Meanwhile, Squad, Arma, Hell Let Loose. Now COD's bragging they want to make an open world fucking war
not
simulator.
COD. Another person wants to make a COD.
Whatever.
With an open world.
They want to make a COD with open world. So you have the map sizes now. People want to play it. I'm not saying make it gargantuan, but give us some room to play. If I strafe you with a ship and then I leave and I can only count to 3 before I hit the fucking wall, the map, it's too fucking small. It's too fucking small.
Yeah. I've been playing more Dune Awakening. I finally got my Ornithopter, okay? And let me tell you something, man. This game is completely opened up. I have plenty of missions to do, but instead of driving my ass there in my sand bike or my buggy, I just hop into my Ornithopter, fly over there, land exactly where I need to do, get the mission done, move on to the next thing. My time is being saved so much more now with the Ornithopter. Still like it, still enjoying it. I'm trying to clear out the bounties. I got a master swordsman now. I'm a master swordsman. So now when I run up to people, I'm murdering them in 3 seconds. So I feel a little OP even in the higher tier areas. I do my little knee move. It kills them. One tap, just done. So I feel like I'm at this point right now. I want to push a little bit more to just get the stories done. But then I feel like I don't know if I want to break the cusp of going into the deep desert. I think I just might wait for more story content. Even though they opened it up to PvE.
Because you're afraid you're going to finish and be bored.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're afraid if you keep going, you're going to finish it and be bored.
Well, not be bored.
Yeah.
I feel like if I finish the story, okay.
Nothing to do.
I'm just going to go into the deep desert and mine stuff. I don't want to do that. I want to do more story content. So I'm kind of just doing all of the bounties, all of the main story, which is still, I have plenty to do. But I don't know if I want to go to the deep desert because I'll be like, this is a bad loop. It's going to be a bad loop for a good 6 months. So I gotta wait for the other DLC to come in.
Why? How come they haven't made one of the space versions inside the Battlefront 2 game where you do the Battle of New Hope, where Everybody's in groups of 3, and you get picked to go into do the trench run and see if you can make it. Like those guys,
cool.
right? Those guys stay out trying to kill fighters, and you get picked. They go, your group's going in, and so you get to go down into the trench and do the trench run. How come they haven't done that yet? Like, especially now, like the single player version, you can do it.
The first
but I'm
Star
talking about
Wars
like a
game in the arcade.
multiplayer version of that.
That was the first game in the arcade. You would do the trench run,
right?
The stand-up console, the stand-up cabinet, where you would
somebody's Han, right? And he's busy trying to get kills, but the game keeps saying, "Hey, you got to go here to help this guy, otherwise he'll die." Right? Like, you got to go here. You got to go get that. And if you don't make it there in time for the save, then Vader kicks your ass. But it gives you a prompt, right? It says, like, it's your turn. You get to go, right? And then whoever's Vader's got to go for the guys in the trench. It tells you don't have to, but you know damn well if you're Vader and you want to go get kills and you don't want to kill the guy in the trench, then the Death Star blows up and you lose anyway. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean, there's so many options to all these games that come out. I'm waiting for them to be like, hey, you know what? We made a fun game, everybody. You want to see what it is? And everyone's like, yeah, I want to see a fun game that's fucking done. You got one? No, you don't. No, you don't have one. Okay, you don't have one.
Clip says, I mean, what else is there to do? I mean, 100 hours for complete the story, and then there's new DLC coming out. No. I'm not complaining that.
Yes, they do, Brain. They do.
What I'm saying is, I don't want to finish the story so fast, right? Like, I'm at 94 hours right now in the game, right? So I have plenty of more. I'm just doing side quests right now with the bounties. I'm not even touching the main story quest line. So I got plenty of stuff, but I don't know if I want to dive into the deep desert because I don't feel like that loop is anything yet. So I'm kind of just holding back. I'm not moving my base to the northern part. I'm just trying to complete the quest. So I feel like if I go to the deep desert, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna burn out, and then I'm gonna put the game down. And I don't put the game down. I just want to just do the main missions and the side missions, and then by the time I'm done with that, hopefully this fall they're coming out with the first DLC. So, and that takes place of more of the main story campaign. So we'll see. That's the only thing I'm playing. I didn't play much of anything else this week besides Battlefront 2 and Dune. It's been a pretty slow week. So, all right. Let's get to the top stories. All right. Let's start off with the first topic here, Sarge. Let me bring this up on the screen. This is Stop Killing Games, right? I believe the gentleman's name is Ross, right? The guy, we talked about it about 10, 11 months ago. This is all started because of Ubisoft and the crew, and this gentleman made an initiative to get this signed in Europe, right? We couldn't sign the petition. I think if you could do it in America, it would have hit 1 million easily.
Yeah, but you needed to have a passport. If you had a passport to prove where you were from.
Right. So it says if you live in the gaming space, you have likely heard of Stop Killing Games petition and the vocal minority or majority looking for preserved games thanks to the support of at least 1 million of you. To Stop Killing Games petition has hit the mark, and it could lead to better times. Could. We don't know. But at least we're there, right? So the Stop Killing Games petition is designed to preserve video games with many titles resorting into online-only states of play. And this means that the company decides to shut down its servers, you can't play the game, and you pay for it ever again, which is happening right now. We'll talk about Anthem after this, right? So Ross Scott, a gaming content creator, started the petition. It had hit 800,000 signatures on July 2nd and finally reached its total on July 3rd. It went to a dead standstill. It was at 500,000, just below 500,000, okay, just a couple of weeks ago. But I don't know if a lot of people knew this. Maybe you guys don't watch YouTube. I know you guys do, okay? Well, everyone started shitting on Pirate Software for many different reasons, right? And Pirate Software literally vocally came out and said, I think this is a piece of shit. I don't want to support this. I'm against everything that this stands for, right? He was very vocal about this Stop Killing Games. One, he's a developer himself, and I think it goes against to what he's doing, so that's why he doesn't want to support it in some way, shape, or form. And he misskewed it, and he didn't really understand what he was saying or understood what they were trying to do. Here we are, though. The villain of the story is now the savior of the story because the people needed something to bring everyone together. And Pirate Software was that villain. If he likes it or not, he became the villain, and he became the reason that everyone rallied around this petition again after 10 months that wasn't going to make it, and now it's over 1 million, okay? Okay, the movement began in 2024, and the main website states that Stop Killing Games, a consumer movement, started to challenge the publishers destroying video games. And they also told the customers an increasing number of the video games sold effectively as goods with no standard expiration date, but designed completely unplayable as soon as the support from the publisher ends. Well, over a year later, main petition has reached 1 million signatures through European Citizens Initiative. Not only that, but also the UK targeted petitions aim to bring this before the UK government has eclipsed the 100,000 goal to standing at over 130,000 signatures and counting. It now means that the EU will likely address this matter, which is good for all of us in the video game space because they have really strict rules and laws over there, which we don't have here. But if it starts changing over there, then it can change in other places as well. So as this happened, okay, so they actually hit the million, but it was because of the person that didn't want to support this at all. The person that said, I don't want to support this, I'm against this. Everyone rallied against his negativity of what this thing was, and they did a Barbara Streisand effect, like she did with her house back in the couple of years ago, where she didn't want to list it or listed it, and then people, by not talking about it, made more publicity about the thing. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but that whole movement just needed a villain, and so Pirate Software was just happened to be the villain that this movement needed, and they all just rallied around going against him. So they signed the petition. So I think it might be 4D chess. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. He just probably trying to help it.
I don't know.
I mean,
I would say,
is anyone thanking him? No, right? We're not going to thank him now, right? Because if not for him, they wouldn't even got the million signatures.
Look, a couple of months ago, I would agree with you. I would agree with you in saying that no, Pirate Software is a good guy or whatnot, and I don't know him personally, okay. But the way he comes across, I don't think he knew what he was doing. I honestly think that he was 100% against this, and everybody else started rallying against him because people try to talk to him, but he just thinks that he's 100% correct in his thinking, and I understand that. I used to be that way. I used to be where whatever I thought was the right way, and everyone else's way could go fuck themselves. We have a couple people like that in chat, okay? You know who you are, okay? So I think he truly believed that what was going on, he didn't really understand and started telling people the wrong stuff, but people started rallying around what him. So I think it's funny. I do. I think it's funny because he didn't want this to succeed. He wanted it to fail. And because he wanted to fail and because he's such a bigger content creator on the circuit, everyone knows who his Pirate Software is. People started rallying around his hatred for the thing, and then it became the pushing factor to get this over 1 million. So him not wanting it to pass made it pass, which is just kind of funny, right?
I mean, like I said, it's without him, it wouldn't have succeeded. So I don't know if you want to hate him, that's fine.
Right,
but
you can hate him, but you also have to thank him.
You should be sending him a thank you card.
That's exactly right, right? You might hate him, but you also have to thank him because even all the other content creators that started making content off of the situation
got the word out
because of this bad guy. The bad guy that was he became the reason that the petition. So I don't know. I think it's funny. So on that note, we have Anthem, right? Anthem. Let me I
thought the Crew was the one that started it all.
That's what I said, the Crew. Yeah, no, I'm talking about Anthem as far as it's the next thing that we're talking about. Right. So Anthem, that's been out for, 6 years, 7 years. Okay. Well, Anthem is finally shutting down after years of neglect from BioWare. Neglect was from the start. They didn't even finish the game.
Right. Neglect was from before it released. That's neglect.
They never finished the game. The Colossus in the game didn't have a full set of gear.
Right. Once you released
weapons.
Once you released it, you didn't give a shit. Like that.
Right.
That's not neglect.
It's not true, Sarge. They said they were going to make a 2.0, and then they abandoned that about 6 months in.
Yeah.
Right. So now my son plays this every once in a while. Right. I told him the bad news. I said, Anthem's shutting down in January. He's like, what do you mean? I go, it's shutting down in January. You can't play it anymore. He's like, why? I said, because no one's playing. He's like, I'm playing it. I said, yeah, you're playing it. I said, you're probably the only person that's playing it. He's like, no, there's other people on there. Okay. He's like, why can't I play it single player? That's because you can't. And this is exactly what Killing Games is talking about, right? With the whole petition. Because look, what's the other one? The gear one that I talk about. It's a coaster. I can't even think of it now.
The gear.
It was, but not Borderlands. Not bad. I can't think of it. Chat, help me out here. My brain.
What are you talking
hitting
about?
a wall. There's another game that I can't.
Well, the
think of it.
coaster.
Yeah, I use it as a coaster. It's a joke.
Oh, use it as a coaster. Battleborn.
Battleborn. Thank you very much. Right. Battleborn had a single player aspect to it, and it had a multiplayer MOBA to it. They closed it down because they didn't want to support the MOBA, but they should support the single player co-op stuff. And if it can't do co-op, then just make it single player so you can still play the game. Same thing with The Crew. Same thing with Anthem. Anthem is a co-op game. It's an online service game. But at the same time, did you know the stores were still open? Like, you could still buy microtransactions in this fucking thing.
Of course you could. Of
Right?
course the stores would still
But
be open.
you should be
What's the
able
matter
to
with
play
you?
this game if you own it. You should be able to put it in, play it single player, and play the game. Through the campaign, through the stuff. I don't need to play with other people to beat the campaign and whatnot.
Here's the cul-de-sac that the gaming industry is going to go into. Okay, and it's very simple. First, let's get a couple of things out in the open. They said that when the games went digital, we would be saving money. That's a lie.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
They said the prices are going to come down because we're not printing out boxes and discs. That's a lie. The prices went up. So now what we have is that the games are only bought digitally through them. And so what's going to end up happening after all the talking back and forth happens, that it's going to come down to the fact that I don't have a choice where I buy the game anymore, which automatically makes the game company a monopoly, which means now that they have to break up and have to sell their games digitally to other people to sell at a third-party site, because otherwise they're controlling the price of the game outright, which is not legal. You have to have choices for the actual product. On top of that, I no longer am buying a product. So between those two things, and like I'm buying a license. And so between those two things, there's going to be either a class action lawsuit or just a direct lawsuit from the Consumer Protection Bureau. And we're going to go to court, because the end result is you want my money and I don't get anything in return. You just want me to buy a license for temporary purposes, and you want me to pay 4 times much more for it, and I'm not getting a product. Like, how do you explain that in court? Right? All they're going to probably be able to explain is, yeah, my guy here buys a car every month, so we had to raise the price, and my guy needed to buy a yacht over here, and we like to run, instead of running 2 managers per 100 people, we do like 18 managers and we have to get more money. So this is how we have to charge for it. Like that's not how this works. That's not how this works. So eventually the gaming industry is going to be painted into a corner, and the lawyers are going to start coming out, because no choice, digital only, not a real product, and I don't get anything. And all those combined equal lawsuit. I'm not saying it's going to happen immediately, but that's the end game of this, because you can't. There's no choices.
Krebs says, I think there's a problem is more complex than many believe. I don't think it's that complicated to take a game and open it up. You're not making money off of it anymore. You're not supporting it. They're closing the store down. They're not making anything from it anymore. Just put it on a server. Let people access it for single player.
You don't see people with old games on disc running around, running amok.
Yeah.
They own the game. They bought it.
Yeah,
they have it.
They're just playing the game.
Millions of people have games in their house. Are they going online and cracking them and doing bad things with them? No. They just have games and they're playing them. Except for your World War II guys. They're hacking people's computers, that kind of thing.
The solution's already here. It's been here for years already. Okay, there's been other games that have closed down and they're up on a server and people can access it. That's all they want. We're not asking for Anthem, full co-op, cross-play, online all the time. No, we're asking for the campaign, the single-player campaign to play the game, right? Now, obviously, I don't know how many people are asking for Anthem. I'm just using it as an example, as another game that's closing down after all these years, because EA is like, well, we don't have room for this. We're putting the next basketball game up on our servers, and that's what it is. The problem with this is the more games, because why would any company make a single player game and single player only when they can make a single player game attached to an online service game, put it out there, and then 3 years later they can just close it down, and then they don't have you have no access to that single player campaign, right? For instance, the next Battlefield comes out, they have a battle royale, they have a war zone type of thing, they have an extraction, and they have a campaign. So 6 years from now, when Battlefield 6 is closing down, do they wipe it clean and you can't play anything anymore? Or can you still play the single player campaign of that campaign? Do they segregate that portion of the game and let people play it?
This is not even, this shouldn't even be a conversation. This right here shouldn't even be a conversation. I bought the game.
Right.
There's no difference. Let me explain something to you. Everyone wants to keep, and I said this a couple weeks ago, everybody wants to keep changing the language. Okay. When I bought the game and I owned it and it's in my house, I bought the license. That's the same thing. It says in the ULOT when you play the game and that first screen that comes up is you bought the license when you bought this game. Right? But the game's still in my house. I still get to play it. I bought the license. So now just because you made it digital doesn't give you the right to take that away from me because it's digital.
Well, it's not even just because it's digital. It's also because of
not different.
It's because of a live service aspect of it.
But even if it wasn't live service, it doesn't matter one way or the other. It's the same. I bought the product license just like I did when I bought Skyrim. Right? I bought the license. It says it on the fucking screen. I bought it. When you guys don't give a shit about the game anymore, I can still put my disc in the machine and play the goddamn game because I bought the license. Just because it's digital doesn't make it automatically, well, it's a temporary license now because it's digital, because I don't feel like keeping it on a hard drive. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
yeah,
you can't change the language all of a sudden and think that you're right because you don't feel like supporting, I don't know what that means, supporting the game. The code of the game's on the disc or the code of the game's on your hard drive. And if it's not on your hard drive anymore, I still bought the license, which means I should be able to take it off your hard drive and put it on mine.
Yeah.
Because I bought the license.
So the way I look at it is, mine's mostly for single player games and games that you can play by yourself. So for instance, I'm playing Dune Awakening. Okay. Dune Awakening is a co-op live service game. Okay. If Dune Awakening ever goes offline and I can't play the PvP anymore, I should still be able to access all the story content, all of these single player bounties and story missions and all that stuff inside the world, just like I am right now. You put the single player aspect in the game, right? PvP, you don't want to support the servers and stuff like that. Fine. But you have to at least let me play the game after it fails, or you don't want to support it anymore because I purchased that game. So I should be able to always access that game until it doesn't work anymore, meaning I break it. But that doesn't happen during digital because digital is digital, meaning I should have that access indefinitely.
Indefinitely. All right.
Yeah.
Well, here's even better. If I bought the license, but when you stop supporting it, I can't play it anymore, then I should get charged a lesser price because I don't own the game. I don't own the license like I did before. So I should get it. I should be getting a cheaper game. I should be getting a $30 game because when you disappear, I can't play it anymore. That's cool. I paid $30 for it. But if you want $80 for it, I get it forever. I get the digital version forever. See, that's the difference. Everyone forgets last year, right? And we keep forgetting the year before. And we keep playing this game. I bought the game. You said when the game went digital, we would be paying less money. You lied. Yeah, you guys are making more money.
Never gone down,
right?
They haven't gone down in price.
Between the time they started, remember this, guys, between the first time they started selling games digitally, right? Remember, the price of the game that was going to the middleman was something around like $18.50 per disc. Right? Remember, it's a $50 game or $60 game.
A little bit more than that. Yeah,
right?
But you're right.
It was like $18 or $20. Every disc was going towards them, the middle guy, right? So if you got rid of the middle guy and you charge
now
more,
you're making all that money,
right? That means, in theory, the game price went up 50%. Because the $22 that you're not getting from the disc anymore, plus you raise the price. That's half the value of the game. So you did a 50% increase by blinking your eyes and telling everybody they didn't own anything. Like, I'm sorry, can I call someone? Because that's what's going to happen eventually. Lawyers are getting involved. right? They're just waiting for it to be big enough and ridiculous enough where they can make money off them. And believe you me, lawyers can smell blood in the water. If there's money to be made, they're going for it, right? It's just not right this moment. So you have to suck it up, right? You have to be smart and not buy the $80 game. Let it go on sale, right? Because even though they say it's $80, it's only $80 if you pay $80.
Correct.
Right? And we've seen time and time again that if they release a game at a price that we don't like, we do this. And for some magical reason, at the end of the month, the game's on sale for 40% off. I don't even know how that happened.
Right.
Did the trucks mysteriously just stop coming?
How much
What happened?
How much you want to bet that games are $80 now? They go on sale faster to get down to 70. They'll give a 10% discount.
They're milking the guys who want to pay the price.
Yeah.
The market bears is the market bears. Let's say it's 60%. Let's say, let's do it this way. Let's say there's a 50 million cap on a specific game type. We're just shooting shit here. It's a first-person shooter. They figure it's a 50 million people cap that'll buy this game. They release it for $60. 10 million people buy it. Nobody else buys it. So they wait and they wait and they wait. Then they bring it down 20% off and maybe another
$80.
another. No, I'm doing from back in the old days.
Oh, I got you.
Right?
I got you.
Right back in the old days, they lower it to like $45, $50. They get another million or two, and they keep milking it and they keep going lower and lower. All this is just bumping up the initial price. You got to be the person that says it's not worth $80.
Right.
Right. I'm sure there are less people buying it day one at $80, but they're making that extra money, so they don't care.
Well, that's what's happening in the movie industry right now.
They know eventually that the price comes down. Now, the question is, are you guys have this chronic case of FOMO. There's no pills for it. There's nothing can be taken for it. Nobody can help you. It's all in your head. And so you have to say to yourself, this game isn't worth $80. And lo and behold, it's not. Because as soon as you don't buy it, by golly gee, we've only proved it on 8 different occasions where the fucking game goes on sale at the end of the month. At the end of the month, it's on sale.
Well,
how'd that happen?
This goes great with the next topic because the next one is Randy Pitchford, right? Borderlands 4. Before they announced the price, someone came out and said, please don't make it $80. He's like, I don't have responsibility for that, but real fans, they will find a way to get $80 to get the game. I did it when I worked at an ice cream parlor, blah, 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 blah.
We all know, Randy, because $20 is $20, right, Randy?
Yeah. So now Randy's back at it because he's like, look, guys, it's not $80. It's $70. So because we did that solid for you because it's not $80 and now it's cheaper at $70, make sure you pre-order. Okay, well, now he's even more at it again, even more, because now Randy's asking fans if they swallow future Borderlands exclusivity deals, and almost 10,000 people just said, put the damn game on Steam, okay? Because now he's coming out and saying, hey, if you guys are interested, we're going to have exclusives. Who should get it, right? And it's like, go fuck yourself, okay? You did this last time with Epic Games, and you had it a 6 month, I think it was 6 months, if I'm not mistaken, 5 years ago on Epic first. And everyone that was interested in Borderlands 3 on day one, they went, no, I'm good. I'll just wait for it to come on Steam. And then when it came to Steam, less people bought it because other games came out. Other things happened. Right. They were already moved on. Okay. So it didn't make that very good sales at full price at that point. Okay. But now he's like, what about, do you guys think we should have exclusive stuff if we go to one platform or the other? Go fuck yourself, okay? Go ahead. Do it. Go ahead and put it on the other Epic store. See how many people buy on the Epic store. Obviously, you already know the answer because you took the money up front. You didn't want to put the money out. You took the money from Epic up front, and you made your bed, now lay in it, right? So now he's looking for ways to, what about if we put it over here? Anybody interested? Make sure you wish list it. Like, this man can't get out of his own way. He's the worst marketing person in the history of marketing.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. There's no arguments.
Was it a 1 year exclusive? I thought it was 6 months, if I'm not mistaken.
There's not even a rebuttal on that. There's not even a rebuttal on that.
Yeah, but now remember, I did you a solid. Yeah, I saved it. It was supposed to be 80, but I talked him, so show the suits. Make sure you buy it at full price. How about go fuck yourself? I'll buy it when it's on sale. I waited 5 years for Borderlands 3, and guess what? I still haven't bought it. I still haven't bought it because it came to Game Pass because you took the money from Xbox to put it on Game Pass. So guess what?
You got paid.
You got paid. You don't need my money from that 5 years later, right? And this is another thing he said. Well, it's going to take a lot longer for it to go on sale. Okay.
I got news for you, Randy. I got nowhere to be.
That's not how that works, Randy.
I got nowhere to be, Randy.
Yeah, that's not how it works, Randy. Borderlands will go on sale when the consumers decide when it goes on sale. Because if we don't buy the game day one,
it goes on sale.
Guess what? You're putting that shit on 10%, then to 20%, then to 35%, then it's going to be a Black Friday deal, then there's going to be a sale, okay? And I just love the fact that, now obviously, there's people that are going to buy it day one. There's already people that bought it day one pre-order because they just can't help themselves. They have to.
They have to have it.
It's what it is.
Yep. $20, $20, bro.
But if it wants to go on sale, the market bears the market bears, and the market's like, you know what? I don't like your attitude. We're not buying the game. We'll show you what goes on sale, right? And that's how that works.
What game was on sale immediately afterwards? It was Avengers. What else? Avengers. What else? What else?
Avengers. Star Wars Outlaws went on sale shortly after. Skull and Bones went on sale. There was a couple of games that went on it. That'll be interesting, Eric. You're saying the only game I have FOMO for right now is GTA 6.
How can you have FOMO? It's been 10 years. How about
13? It's been 13.
Like, what years. How can you have FOMO on a game that it's coming?
Yeah, I think it's been 13 years, hasn't it? 08 was the last time, or no, 12. Yeah, it's been 2012.
I figure if you're the kind of person that doesn't like GTA, that right around the month right before GTA comes out, you're gonna have plenty of time to do your backlog because ain't no one releasing dick. No one's releasing anything near that game. So if you want to knock out some backlog, that's the time to do it.
Yeah, I would love, before the movie came out, Sarge, I was like, there's no way Borderlands is going to bomb. Right?
You mean the movie?
But just anything in Borderlands. It's like people like Borderlands. That movie came out, 32 million total. 35 million total. It was in theaters for 4 weeks, which is 3 weeks too long. Okay?
How can a movie like Flash Gordon from 1980 be better than a Borderlands movie in 2024?
Yeah, I don't know. It's amazing. Right? But I looked at the videos for Borderlands. So when they first showed 10 months ago, the first Borderlands trailer, 3.5 million people watched it. You're like, oh, people are interested in it. 6 months ago, 4 months later, half of the people that watched that trailer watched the next announcement trailer. 2 months after that, 4 months ago, half of those people watched. So now we're down to the 600,000. We're down to less than 100,000 people interested on the next video that came out. So we went from 3.5 to 1.5 to 600,000 to like 150,000, and we're down to like 62,000 views for the video, right? That tells me Borderlands 4 is not exciting.
But that's why I don't click on wish list. That's why I don't pre-order. I don't give them any information, bro. Like I don't give people information that they didn't give me money for. Like they're already selling my information. I give them barely any information, right? Like one guy had called me up on a sales call. He thought I was like 23 years old because I had no footprint on anything. Like he was asking me all kinds of strange questions. I'm like, are you selling me something? I'm like, you're doing a horrible job. I'm like, why don't you just get to the point of what are you trying to sell me? Is it insurance? Is it health insurance, car insurance? You wanted me to get new tires on my car? Just say something, bro, because whoever trains you is horrible. Just go ahead and do it, right? One of those kind of people. Like, I don't give anybody any information at all, right? And especially shit like this. And the topic should not be that Randy can't keep his foot out of his mouth.
Yeah.
The topic should be the EULA that Borderlands has.
That's a whole completely different conversation.
That basically sells your information to whoever they want. Like, that's the problem. Like, that to me is the issue. Like, I don't care about anything else. He's a ridiculous man to begin with, but the EULA I have a problem with. No, the answer is no. The answer is no.
I mean, every day that goes by, so far, Borderlands 4, I'm not buying. I'm not interested in it, right? Next Battlefield, I'm not buying that.
But
I'm
they're
saving
saying-
a ton of money.
But they're saying so much positive stuff about Battlefront. Or
Oh yeah,
Battlefield,
we're
bro,
going to that next, right? We're
right?
going to that
so
next.
much positive stuff's coming out of Battlefield, right?
So Battlefield, okay?
Wait,
Rumor.
everyone, wait, please, everyone, just take a sip. Try not to do a spit take on this. These are the words coming out of their mouth.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
not a writer talking. This is coming out of their mouth. This is priceless.
So, rumor, the new Battlefield is not in good shape, okay? Not in good shape. A new report from Ars Technica, citing sources close to the next Battlefield project, points to serious development issues, okay? According to the sources, the game is currently facing culture clashes, uncontrolled budget increases, and the major distributions, okay, or disruptions, sorry, all major disruptions, factors, and have led to many of the development team to believe in parts of the game won't even be ready or in satisfactory state by the release deadline, okay? Can you say fucking, they're like on a treadmill. They haven't moved in the entire frame, right? 2042 came out broke, buggy, unfinished. They're like, all hands on deck, and they're still in the exact same spot they left the last game in, which is unfinished, broke, and buggy, okay? They said the satisfactory stable release deadline, which is until within the EA's fiscal window of April of 2026, okay? These sources also report extreme pressure, long working hours, and a severe burnout amongst the staff, okay? And the extent of some of the team members have taken leave to escape the mental situations or the strain of the situation at what's happening at the studio.
Let me ask you a question. What strain?
Well,
You have 4 studios working on this.
Well,
what are we talking about?
Let me read this last line because this is the spit take here, okay? Meanwhile, EA expects the next Battlefield installment to reach 100 million players. You might look at that and go, oh, that seems plausible.
Yeah.
All of Battlefield, in the 23 years it's been out, Battlefield 2042, Battlefield 1, other Battlefield 1, 2041, 2042, 3, 4, Bad Company 2, right? Hardline, all of them. Okay, have hit a max total of 88 million players. But they want this one game. They want
the
to
bag,
hit
bro.
100 million units, and they're
want
so
the bag,
delusional.
bro. They want the bag.
Right? So delusional.
They want the bag, bro.
They're competing with
bag.
They're competing with Fortnite and Call of Duty. Okay? Right? My phone's talking to me. Hold on a second. They want the Fortnite and Call of Duty crowd. And they're like, "Oh, there's just so many people playing these games. We wouldn't be overlapping anything." How delusional are you? First of all, Battlefield's done. Okay? You can believe me or not, Battlefield is done already, regardless of all this thing that we just talked about, okay? It's done because they have a free-to-play Battle Royale mode coming into the game, okay? So there's a 6-hour campaign, supposedly. There's the Conquest mode and the Rush mode that's in the game. There's also an extraction thing or whatever else is happening in the game, right? There's like 3 or 4 different modes. But then they had the free-to-play Battle Royale mode, Sarge, okay? Well, if people are coming in to play this, the Battle Royale, the free Battle Royale, and let's say this takes off, where does it leave this? Where does it leave the full-price $80 version of the game if everyone's just playing this?
Well, if it's not finished, I'm not getting it, so it won't matter.
Right.
They're just
going to play this Battle Royale over here.
And I don't play Battle Royale. I don't give a shit, right? But here, I want to hear the budget, bro. What's the budget? 4 studios, bro.
Krebsy was bringing it up, right? It's surpassed right now $400 million. Okay. $400 million, breaching on to $500 million right now. And that's where we stand today. Not even when it finally comes out.
Bro, they're cooked. They're 400 right now. They're not done yet. 400 million right now.
Yeah.
All hands on deck. We still got another year to go, bro. They're less than a year.
I don't care if this is a masterpiece, okay? And the Battle Royale is the greatest Battle Royale ever created for Battle Royales. If the Battle Royale is successful, the game fails. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Battlefield, the game, fails if the Battle Royale free-to-play makes it and it's the best one ever. Because no one's going to buy the full-price $80 version of this game, supposedly by their own rumors here. that is going to be complete when it comes out in satisfactory form because they're not going to have it finished by that time frame.
Eric Jones, even if they meant 10 million, let's say you're correct. If they meant 10 million players, 10 million players doesn't get you anywhere near covering the cost of a $400 million game.
Yeah.
So I have to believe that statement's incorrect. I have to believe that they mean 100 million people because that's the only way.
Because
the only
it's
way
reported in multiple sources in different articles has said 100 million players. I was like, this can't be right. This can't be right. No, it's correct. They want 100 million players.
It's humorous to me that you can be in this much chaos and you can still have a marketing guy who's drowning. He's come climbing out of this pile of crap and he's screaming, "We're gonna do 100 million! Woo!" you're drowning, bro. Like no one's gonna buy this game in that numbers. The best, what was the best one they had? The best one I was like 10 million.
The best one is Battlefield 1 with 33 million.
Battlefield 33 million.
Battlefield 1 with 33 million players.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But
88 total, 33 from that one game, and they want 100 from this. They have to make 70 million people from somewhere else that no one's... They do understand that when they come out with their Battle Royale, Fortnite's still out here, right? They still understand that Call of Duty's Warzone is still out here, right? It's not like they're folding going, well, Battlefield's coming out, guys. We got to let them have this for a bit. No, Fortnite and Battlefield or Call of Duty
they'll release a bunch of new maps or something.
Of course.
When Battlefield comes out.
Why would I leave those games to go play this game?
Well, better yet, you said that you weren't going to give up on 2042, but you realize that once the first attempt is made and you fucked it up, nobody cares. Even if you're fixing it, we've moved on.
That's correct. We move on.
If this is already in the same state where you guys are not, it's not done, you're worried about it being in a satisfactory condition, and you're doing the same shit, but just with 4 studios instead of 1. Like how are you guys not even close to being done with 4 studios working on it? What do you guys do all day? I don't understand. What do you do?
What skins are they putting into Battlefield?
What do you guys?
Am I gonna get Nicki Minaj in Battlefield? Am I gonna get Snoop Dogg? Am I gonna get Family Guy inside of the thing? Ninja Turtles, are they coming? Like, what the fuck is happening in Battlefield that's gonna be different than the games that I've already spent? Not me personally.
I got it.
Hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on skins that have been out for 5, 7, 8 years. I'm gonna buy them again in the other Battlefield game.
No, they can't copy Fortnite, but what they can do is reach into the nostalgia crate. And ready for this? These are the skins. Ready here?
Go ahead. I'm super excited. Hold on. Let me
get ready.
Let me brace myself.
Get ready. Your wallet's about to flop out of your pocket, bro. You ready?
All right, go ahead.
Your wallet's gonna come flopping out. You ready? Here we go. Arnold Schwarzenegger from Commando. Boom.
Okay.
Skin.
Boom. Okay.
Chuck Norris. Right?
Boom. Got it.
Boom.
Don't care.
Yeah. I'm telling you, this is what they're gonna do.
I got you. I'm just letting you know I don't care.
Sylvester Stallone and Rambo. Boom. They're gonna bring out every war hero guy possible as a skin and get everyone excited about Battlefield. I'm telling you, that's coming.
I can already see what they're going to do. Ready? Broke, buggy, unfinished game. Let's get Shroud to play it and Dr. Lupo to play it. And let's get all the big guys to play it. Let's get, I don't know, Dr. Disrespect, whoever. Let's get everyone that possibly can push this game because we got to get that Battle Royale money going on. Yeah. No one's buying this shit, dude. They're all going to play the free-to-play version. Free-to-play version. Which is the Battle Royale.
Dustin's already all excited. Dustin's
pre-ordered it 6 months ago. Yeah.
He pre-ordered it and he can't even pre-order it yet. He found a way to pre-order it.
He's pre-ordered the pre-order.
Yeah, right. He found the pre-order button.
Yeah, he's pre-ordering the pre-order. Right? Look, you're not going to leave a game like Call of Duty, okay, that you've spent, if you've done this, I'm sorry. If you paid for the Ninja Turtles and for Beavis and Butthead and for Nicki Minaj and Snoop Dogg and anybody else that came out in the thing, you have hundreds of dollars spent in this thing. You're having fun with your crew. You're in this game. You've invested money in this game. Let's not even talk about how Call of Duty comes out with the next Call of Duty. In just a couple of months, the next Call of Duty's out. Okay?
Yep.
But you're going to leave that game.
I think this one's called Revenge of Nicki Minaj. I think it's
right.
called.
You're going to leave that game to go to Battlefield. With the last Battle Royale game they had failed miserably. It literally flopped in 3 months in their last Battlefield game. but they're going to come out with a free-to-play one now because that one was behind a paywall originally, and no one wanted to play it. But now they're going to put out the free one. So guess what that's going to do? It's going to kill the actual game itself.
100 million players.
100 million
for a broken game.
Did you see that Mass Effect is a Battlefield 2042 crossover? Yeah, and look, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
What do you mean Mass Effect and Battlefield?
They brought the Mass Effect character skins inside of Battlefield 2042.
There is no hope for these dudes that sit in an office, bro. There is no hope for these guys. They sit in an office all day long. Who can we put in, bro? Who can we put in and get these guys to buy some stuff? Who can we put in, man? Who are we gonna get, man? Who? Like, we can find some people that Fortnite doesn't have yet. Come on, let's call up Ubisoft. Let's call them up.
It's so sad, man. Battlefield is not only dead to me,
let me ask
but
you
now that they want 100 million people, I'm not going to buy it out of spite because I want to make sure they're one person short of hitting that 100 million.
Yeah, let me ask you this question. If we were to look at the gaming industry as a prostitute, because they're only going for your money.
Yeah,
right?
Go ahead.
If let's just call the gaming industry a prostitute, right? How is it that the gaming industry can't figure out how
the worst
to make
prostitute ever?
Right. Can't figure out how to make money from their game selling it to boys.
Right.
They can't. We can't do it. Right.
The prostitute knows what they have to do.
It's the worst prostitute ever that can't get money from a dude. Right. I don't get it.
It's like, how do we get this? How do we get the money out of that guy's pocket? I don't know. Make a game, sell a game. No, let's make a half-ass game and just charge $80. $80 for the game, $60 for a microtransaction.
Do you know how much it is to cost to make a game? I mean, we can make a kind of game, but we could put some skins in there and make up the difference, right? We don't have to actually make a game completely, right? We could put maybe we
could skirt by, right? For at least
the
months.
essence of a game. Like, what do they know? What's the difference between a game and an essence of a game, right? It's the same thing.
You know what just hit me, Sarge? I want to create a game. It's called Finger Guns. Okay? Finger Guns. It's a first-person shooter game where you run around and you just shoot with your hand like this, right? And you charge microtransactions for different gloves to change the skin of your gun, your finger guns. Okay? So you're only charging for there's no gun. Okay? That's how fucking retarded this is. I'm going to sell you a game with no gun in your hand. It's just pistol fingers, okay? You could dual wield. Okay, and just the glove itself will change for cosmetics, and you can sell that, right? Genius.
I mean,
genius.
That was from the movie Real Men. Did you ever watch the movie Real Men? It starred John Ritter.
Mo says they already have one with finger guns, Mike. Do they sell microtransactions for gloves? Sorry, go ahead, Sarge.
It's the movie called Real Men, right? Where it's John Ritter and James Belushi.
I remember this.
And James Belushi is an FBI agent, and he convinces John Ritter that he's on some kind of secret mission to bring back somebody to aliens. They have to get to some place by a certain time, and the aliens are after them. And he says that his fingers, the aliens gave him the power where he can actually shoot things out of his hand, and he's actually running around yelling "bang bang," trying to kill people. And because somebody else is hiding in the bushes to make it look like his fingers actually work, he's actually shooting the guys he's saying bang bang to. So for the whole movie, he thinks that he can kill people with his fingers.
He could be a character in the game.
I would love to play John Ritter with
John Ritter in the new finger bang gun game. It's called Finger Bang.
Oh man.
Robert Jones says finger gun, and the default skin is a white hand. You have to pay for other races and gloves. and so everyone feels established. You have to have a gun where the guys only have 4 fingers, so the handicapped people are included as well.
Right,
so
but
everyone feels.
But when you unlock, the problem is that when you unlock the black hand to use in the game, that it's always like this. It's always like this. So
gotta
the
turn it sideways.
the accuracy's
turn it
off.
sideways.
You have to redo the accuracy because he's always holding it like this.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. It's called finger gun. Finger gun bang. That's what it is.
We have reached the point now where the discussion isn't how good we can make the game; it's how we can squeeze money out of the game after we release it broken. That's the discussion.
I think it'd actually be a really good sell, you know. And someone said in chat, "I want the Michael Jackson glove." Yeah, you could think about other gloves so you don't even make the whole skin, right? You just make like the Freddy Krueger glove. So you're like, "Oh my god, I'm Freddy Krueger," but you're not. It's just the glove.
It's just his hand.
It's just the hand.
Everybody else sees a normal dude, but you think you're Freddy Krueger. So that's all that really matters,
right? Because you can't see
you
your
can't
guy.
see yourself anyway.
So you're just running around with a Freddy Krueger,
right?
You know, this is genius.
Right,
someone
OJ
get on
glove,
this.
The OJ glove. The OJ glove doesn't really fit though, right?
Yeah, right. It's hanging over. Yeah.
Hanging off.
The OJ glove doesn't fit.
Yeah, Michael Jackson glove.
Oh man, it's good stuff.
Right, but see, you're not far off. The actual thing that they would do, right, is not a glove. What it would be is it would look like a shitty gun.
Yeah,
and you would have to buy skins to put the gun that you want to look cool in the game. So they don't even design the guns anymore. It's just it's just a regular, some old gun. And so you have to actually buy the gun skins for the actual weapons for you to see them. Otherwise, you don't
so then when you also do like machine gun, then your hands are like this.
Right.
You only have. It's pretty ingenious, I think. I think we have something. You could do a red dot sight. You just do this with your thumb, and you put a red dot on the thumb.
Right. It's just there's a marker. It's
just
a marker.
There's just a red dot marker on the glove.
Thumbs up like this so you can see the guy. You put the red dot of the guy's thumb on people. Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic.
These are all jokes, but this is completely plausible.
This is dead serious. Yeah, they would make a game like this.
EA would be behind this in a
EA's taking notes right now. They're like, did you guys hear this
Did you hear that
podcast
glove
called
idea?
Generation X Gaming? These two fucking idiots are on this podcast. They just gave us
thing's awesome.
a $1 billion idea here. Let me write that down. Handgun called finger gun bang. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. All right, next one. Put on your tinfoil hats for this one. Tinfoil hats. Okay. Mind's Eye will be relaunched as the CEO blames saboteurs.
Oh,
okay?
shit. The Mossad's involved in Mind's Eye, bro.
Yeah, so.
Right, we got CIA, NSA involved in Mind's Eye. I know.
So the game came out. The game came out, Sarge. Mind's Eye came out weeks ago. Okay. And the reason it failed. Now, we talked about this before it launched, right? He said that people were sabotaging it ahead of time because they were paying for people to talk bad about the game. Not the fact that they didn't show anything about the game until hours before. They didn't have any review copies. And then when it did launch, it was a broke, buggy, unfinished game where the developers came out and said, we're so excited that the game sold very well and we're going to keep updating it and we're here for the next decade. Okay. But yet he's thinking that saboteurs. Okay. So here we go.
I can't even listen to this.
This is like
real.
Like my finger gun thing sounds more realistic than this. Okay. So sources told IGN it finally addressed the staff following the release of Mind's Eye in a brief video call yesterday, July 2nd, according to two people present who asked, was it just two people present or was there other people present? Not to be named in order to protect their careers. Instead, Barb also bounced back the relaunch of Mind's Eye, blaming the studio on the game's struggles on internal and external saboteurs, amongst other things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In May, Mark, the CEO of Build a Rocket Boy, went on a record suggesting that people were being paid to talk negatively about Mind's Eye. Let me tell you something. I did it for absolutely free. I didn't get a check. I just put the dots together and said this is a bad game.
Nobody needed money for that, bro.
Yeah, I don't need motivation to talk shit about your shitty game.
Nobody was waiting around for a check to talk about your garbage game. I don't understand. What are they talking about?
Okay, so when he was asked if someone was financing all the negative feedback, he said 100%. 100% that people were doing it. No proof, just 100%. Recently, vast swaths of workforce at Build a Rocket Boy advertised a risk of redundancy on social media. Dozens of employees popped up on LinkedIn to stress their roles at the adding extra strands of industry or strain on the industry, which just has been hit with Microsoft's 9000. I don't know why they're putting that in there. Do you think Mind's Eye can be successful relaunch? No. First impressions are everything.
First impression, kid.
Make a game, sell a game, not put a half-assed game out there and then ask for forgiveness, say someone sabotaged your game for a shitty game, and then say we're going to relaunch it, and this time we're also going to have an incomplete game the second time around. Like,
what is with this victim mentality? Like, you guys made a game. You decided to release it. Now
they didn't make a game.
You're just screaming shit out like, it wasn't our fault. He lied. He paid for negative. He said something. That's not true. Saboteurs. Like, what are you? Like, it's some crazy guy in his house just screaming out the window. Like, what are you talking about, kid? You released the game.
I totally understand where he's coming from as a YouTuber, and say, why isn't my videos being seen by everyone? YouTube's against me. Like, that's the way I feel, right? But obviously, I know it's not that. It's just I'm not doing it correctly. He's saying that people literally were paid to talk negative about the game. No, you did that yourself. You did that yourself by releasing a game in an incomplete state and wasn't ready to launch. It wasn't you missed the first thing of making a game. You didn't make the game.
You took part of a game out of another game. Decided to call that a game.
Yeah.
Right? We watched you build a game over the last 5-8 years.
Yeah, everywhere.
Called Everywhere. We watched you, and we watched all the footage, and then we realized that you pulled the footage out of that into this game, which nobody knew about, except for 3 weeks before you guys released it. You called it Mind's Eye. All of a sudden, it's on the radar. Like, what are you guys talking about?
Ego from Twitch says, but what if there's actual saboteurs?
That would be amazing.
I mean, if there really was actual saboteurs for a game called Mind's Eye, which is a branch off of a game called Everywhere, which has been in development for 7 years, but the actual game of Mind's Eye was only in development for less than 18. I mean, I guess. Are you telling me that the person, because he's actually saying that Rockstar is the ones that paid people to talk negative about it. He's actually saying that Rockstar, because he actually said in a quote, obviously we know who it is what he said, meaning he's talking about Rockstar because he came from Rockstar. So apparently there's bad blood there between him and wherever he left from Rockstar. So now he thinks Rockstar, the biggest piece of entertainment in the history of video games, is after him and this game, because this game is going to be bigger than Grand Theft Auto.
I mean, it would have if they didn't play all that money to say negative things about it. It would have crushed it.
The actor in the game was like, I don't know why it came out broken buggy. Like, companies shouldn't do this.
Did you not play video games, kid? Like, did you decide to be an actor for a video game and not realize how any of these games come out? Like, that was just your first soiree into it?
It's crazy. Like, instead of just saying, hey, we came out, we thought we had a good product here, it didn't work out, we're going to work really hard to fix it. They're like, nah, the reason it didn't work is because there's saboteurs, you see?
Saboteurs.
They're coming after me. Let me get my finger guns ready. like what are you talking about?
They're off the reservation, man. Some of these guys I think have been working too many hours, not enough sleep, right? They're coming off a bad release and they're just their brains have snapped. They're cooked, right? Saboteurs,
just
really, bro.
Just make a game.
Saboteurs. That's a matter of fact, I'm hoping somebody else claims that.
Hey, you know what? At least he didn't go with the old school of, well, the game didn't succeed because you're sexist, racist, and misogynist. He went completely opposite. He said, there's saboteurs.
Yeah, that's played out.
Yeah.
That's played out. The sexist thing is out. We're on to international spies going after my game. This is where we are now. They used the word, did they actually use the word re-release the game?
Yeah, they're going to re-release the game.
You can't re-release a game.
They can, Sarge. It's going to be like Men in Black when they come in. No, they came out. They're gonna go look into the thing. They're gonna flash you, and you're gonna be like, what is this? Is this Mind's Eye? Oh, this is a new game. This is amazing. I didn't know this game was out. Like, what are we talking about? First impression's it, man.
There's no way you're re-releasing a game. And if you do re-release it, it's like 15 years later, when you do the remaster, you don't re-release a game 3 weeks after the game comes out.
That would be fantastic if they're like, this is the remaster of Mind's Eye. It's like 2 months later. It's the remaster of Mind's Eye. That's brilliant. And they charged more for it because it was 50. Now they'll charge 60.
You guys are paying money for this, right? Like, you guys are paying money for this? Like, this is a quality product to you guys? Somebody's screaming outside the window, there's someone after me. He's going to take my game. Get off my lawn. That's the guy you want to buy a game from. This game's going to be good, right?
It's not a good start. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it plays out for him. Right? Another story. Let's start, let's go with the big story here with the layoffs. Okay. So let me go through the list here. There's one that's going through the entire thing for layoffs. Let me find it. That's that. Pitchford. Elder Scrolls. Next game looks like Call of Duty. Tension at Halo Studios. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Where the hell is...
How many times has it died, Eric? Does that mean it's like a zombie now? How many times is he dead? Yeah, Xbox is dead. Yeah,
it's been dead for the last 5 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, they were third place and dead, and they're still here. So I guess you call them the biggest zombie ever.
Yeah, zombie Xbox. I can't find
the thing about the layoffs, and this is I'm trying to be serious now. I know I'm about 2 scotches in, but I got to be serious just for this. You did that chart earlier today, and you showed that over the period of the last 4 years or 5 years, that they had hired 70,000 people.
70,000 people over 4 years. Yeah.
Right. All right. So nobody goes into a chat room and discusses, oh, look how great this is. Microsoft hired 35,000 people last year. Or we have a party about, oh, look how good the gaming industry is doing. They hired 40,000 people over the last 4 years. Let's talk about all the positive stuff about why they hired the 40,000 people, and let's talk about that. Those conversations never happen. You fire 9,000 people. Well, let's just call it 10,500, whatever the number you want to make up. We say that they fired that many people, and everybody gets all butthurt, starts crying and playing victimhood like you have a stake in the company anyway. Like, you don't give a shit, but you wanted something to talk about. So we're all going to get mad that a company fired 10,000 people, right? Meanwhile, they had hired 70,000 people. So the net here is they still have 60,000 people. So you should just say thank you, and we should move on to the next story. But instead,
55,000 positive.
Right. We're going to focus on the 10,000 people that got fired, who, by the way, got severance, 6 months of health insurance, and in order to fill out a new application to be put in another position in the country, into the company. Like, I don't understand what it is you're butthurt about, right? Then we go into the article, and it states why they were letting people go. The reasons were very, very obtuse. You ready for this? Somebody was working on the game for 7 years, and they asked them what it was, and they didn't have an answer. Right? I was working on the game for 7 years. They ask you what it was, and you go, well, I don't know what it is. I don't know what we're doing. Like, nobody has any game ready.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, you guys don't have anything, so we're gonna stop paying you, and we're gonna let you go because you guys aren't making anything. Like, I don't understand where you guys sit in the world of employment. If you do a job, you get paid. If you're not doing anything, you get fired, right? If you make something and it doesn't sell, you get fired. I don't know how else you want to talk about this, right? So what? They fired 10,000 people. So what? What does that mean to you?
In a company with 242,000, I think, right?
It's a $1 trillion company.
Yeah,
they are hiring and firing all the time. What do we? How angry can you be?
But I also did a chart earlier today where I showed that in 2000, I think it was 2008 to 2014, 15, Sony had 180,000 people. 180,000. By 6 years later, they were down to 108. They fired 72,000 people over the course of 8 years. No one was freaking out. Nobody was freaking out because, and then now Sony sits around 113,000 people, right? And they haven't moved in the last couple of years. 1,000 here, 1,000 up, 1,000 down. They're pretty much level.
They are burning through money with these multiple $100 million projects that they cannot recoup money from.
Right.
Real
The reason,
live service or not, they are not recouping this money. So what do you think happens when you have this much money out in the void trying to make a game with that many employees? You're going to have to let some people go.
well, I think the reason they're doing it is because of AI. AI infrastructure, they spent $80 billion this year alone, just this year on AI to get the infrastructure. Okay. So here, I think I have the chart.
But if I really believe they spent that much money on AI, I would believe the coding would be better because AI doesn't fuck up.
Well, no, but they're now they said 30% of the code written at Microsoft is made by AI. 30 or 35% is made by AI, right? And Zuckerberg, I found an article that Zuckerberg, or not an article, a tweet, Zuckerberg commented to Nadella and said that 50% of Meta by next year is going to be 50% coded by AI. Okay? So here's the chart that we're talking about, right? So the chart here shows that in 2019, Microsoft was around 144,000, something like that. Okay. In 1 year, from 2019 to 2020, okay, they hired 20,000 people. Okay. Then
A
from
little bit more than that, but yeah.
yeah, from 2020 to 2021, they went another 20,000 from like 162 to 180,000. Then from 21 to 22,
COVID
they
years.
doubled that.
Right. COVID years.
Yeah, they doubled that up to 240 or 220,000.
Doubled their people during the COVID year.
Yeah. Okay. Then they stayed even.
Because everyone's going to stay home forever, bro.
Right. Then they
Nobody's
stayed
going
even.
back to work.
Right. They stayed even. And then all of a sudden they went up just a little bit. And now is the dip off. Okay. Now I can show you other companies, and they also have a dip off when they go up to the highest amount of people and they have to shred money. Okay. To look more profitable for the investors, they have to get rid of people. That's the way it works. Okay. If you notice, I always say this, the company always does this. Look at the chart. Look at the chart, right? The red line just keeps going up. Not like this, constantly going up, right? This year here, after they brought in all of these people, it went up, but probably not as much as they would like it to go up. This dot should have been up like here. Okay. It should have been up to like this point up here. Okay. But then it increases. Now they're like, oh, we're over the amount. We're making billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. Like, well, we just spent $80 billion for AI infrastructure. We spent $69 billion a year and a half ago on Activision Blizzard, right? I don't know. Do the math. That's $150 billion, $160 billion they've spent in 2 years. And they're going to make that money back real fast with the AI infrastructure. Why? Because they're getting rid of people. And because they fire people doesn't mean they're not hiring them back. Okay. Now, this happens in corporations all the time. I said this morning. Okay. They fire the people that are on staff, salaries, benefits, right? Then they bring them back as a contract worker. Okay. And then they get more money usually because they're contract workers. So they're getting more hourly. Okay. But they have no benefits. Right? They get no benefits, no nothing like that. Okay? And obviously, they're going to take that job. They're going to take that job because they already did the same job, but now they get no benefits. Okay? And then once they make their giant money back the next 2 years, they'll start hiring again because now they need people to come back in. So this number probably will go down even more. They were probably, because look, they've took 70,000 people in 4 years, 5 years. They only fired... I say it like it's no big deal. They only fired 15,000. They still have 55,000 people they could go down back over here to go back where they were 5 years ago. Okay, imagine that. Okay, now that's across Microsoft. That's not just for Xbox, right? This is across Microsoft, the entire company. Okay, so, but going from this, right? Candy Crush. How many people are affected by the Xbox layoffs? Right now, Candy Crush saga. Everyone's like, oh my God, they're losing so many people. I looked it up the other day. Know how many people are working for Candy Crush? Take a guess. Yeah, it's like between 5 and 8 people.
Yeah, 7 people.
Yeah. So they lose one guy, and they're like, we lost 20% of...
We lost 20% of the staff.
Right. Right. That game is making money hand over fist.
That's correct. Hand over fist.
Okay. And they're making plenty of money there.
I would love to get real numbers on Candy Crush.
Now, they're making billions.
No, I know.
Right. So here it says official numbers have not been shared with Microsoft, which has seamlessly opted in to drip feed the news rather than publish full details at once. but it's reported that around 9,000 people will lose their jobs, which works under about 4% of Microsoft total workforce, currently standing at 228,000. Insider Gamer has learned that multiple Call of Duty studios have been hit, with Raven Software, which also has been working a long time alongside Treyarch, also Call of Duty Black Ops 7, and Sledgehammer Games, which also began to work on the future Call of Duty titles, are both affected. High Moon Studios, a developer assisting to Call of Duty Warzone's other projects, also been hit. Turn 10 Studios, behind Forza Motorsports franchise, is one of the biggest to be hit. Now, I have a question. Just because they made Forza Motorsports, it didn't sell well. You make a game, you sell a game. If it doesn't sell well, you have to cut your losses, right? If there's no interest in that game, why would you make the next Forza Motorsports game if that Forza Motorsports didn't work out, right? So are you gonna spend money making that, or are you gonna invest that money into something else in the company?
Live service.
That's you to decide out there.
Live
right?
service. Live service.
Okay. So it says nearly half the studio has been let go. Rare has also been affected by significant changes, Insider Gamer has been told, but no specific details on the number have been shared. Big names are also moving on. ZeniMax Online Studio President Matt Fior announcing he's leaving the company at the end of the month. At Rare's game director Greg Miles also leaving Miles after more than 35 years in the
35
studio.
years with the studio.
Yeah, that's if he was 20 when he started. He's at retirement age, man.
Yep.
Right? Is he leaving because of this, or he's just like, you know what, this is a good time to leave?
Right, because I'm sure he's getting his package to go bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm sure he's like, you know what?
But
is
that's
it worth me staying?
But that's where all that extra money comes from anyway. All the extra money that they get for firing the people is what they use to do all the severance packages and to pay off the golden parachutes for the guys who are going to walk away and scale down. Like that's what all that money comes. That's what all that money is for, right? That's the reason why they use it. You wish you could work at a job for 35 years,
Right.
right? You wish you could be at a job for 35 years. And let's be honest, they made Candy Crush. What do you think the maintenance is on Candy Crush? That game is making them billions, right? I want to find some numbers on Candy Crush. The game makes billions.
Yeah, King has 2,000 employees, Krebsy, but the game itself, there's not thousands of people working on Candy Crush. You've seen Candy Crush, right? You can't have 500 people making Starfield and have 2,000 people working on Candy Crush, right? Candy Crush is not that big of a studio itself. King, they make a shit ton of mobile games. There's a crap ton of mobile games. Shitty ones, good ones, all right? But they only make a couple of good ones that make a shit ton of money.
They're all trying to make the slot machine that somebody wants to play. That's all it is. Right? They're coming up with the difference. Just like when you go to a casino and there's different slot machines and people will sit down at certain slot machines, that's what they're doing on mobile phones. They're trying to figure out how to copy Candy Crush to capture another group of people in a different machine. That's all it is. It's the same shit.
Yeah, it's around 2,000. It's around 2,000 people in the Xbox division, supposedly, that got let go out of the 9,000 that been let go so far. And I say so far because they'll probably do more stuff as well, right? Then you have other stories about Bethesda cancels funding for several unannounced projects at the multiple studios. This to me is not really news, right? Because if I'm just normal Joe, right? I don't know what they're working on. Maybe they're working on Starfield 2. Maybe they're working on the next Elder Scrolls, whatever, right? But these are unannounced things, meaning brand new IPs, DLCs, whatever, right? Canceled funding for several unannounced projects at multiple studios. Okay.
Yeah, great.
This happens all the time. All the time, right? This happens without the news of everyone getting laid off, right? Just hey, we're not doing this anymore. We're taking those funds away. This happens every single day at every single company across the board in the studios, small, large. They cancel things all the time. They're like, yeah, we can't do stuff like that. We're just not going to talk about it. Okay, I don't think it's news because they didn't announce anything. They're unannounced things, and they're taking funding of things away from unannounced things.
You basically told me somebody just stopped working.
Yeah. Hey, it wasn't far enough along to have anything solid, so they're like, let's not invest any more money into that. So they stop. And now they're going to put stuff into things that they think is going to work, which is if that's DLC for Fallout or if that's DLC for ZeniMax's for Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, but a lot of this is still bloat, man. A lot of these companies are just bloated. Too many middle managers, too many guys not doing anything, too many guys collecting a paycheck. It's just they're not producing anything that makes money. And I know they use one group of guys to help pay for another. It's just how it's the company's the company. Your net gross and your net costs, it's the same. Like you offset. But how many of these projects that were just done, right? And if you're cutting the fat, right? If you're gonna invest, listen, if you're gonna reinvest the money into the company, if you tell me that they're gonna invest 80, was it billion or million? 80 billion or was it million?
80 billion in infrastructure, billion.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you tell me that they're going to invest $80 billion into AI construction to build up the AI manufactured, then that tells me that you're not going to hire that many people again anyway, because you want people to do the jobs that the AI can't do. And we already discussed this multiple times. If they can find a way for AI to do the job that a person can do, the answer is they're going to use the AI, right?
100%.
And if the AI has been taught to know code, right, and it knows whatever code you want, C++ or whatever they're doing, Unreal Engine 5, whatever engines you guys are using, the Gamebryo engine, and it knows how to code, then I'm pretty sure the coding problem isn't going to be a factor anymore. It's going to be other areas going to be a problem because the coding will be done.
Well, it also, you're right. It will be done, but I think there'll be a lot of problems with the coding in the beginning until it gets to a point where you won't even be able to tell the difference.
It's got to learn,
right? And that'll exponentially.
It doesn't take a year for AI to learn to code, right?
Right.
It's not going to take that long.
Well, here there's also this, right? This chart down here. This is for the infrastructure of AI, right? So I always talk about exponentially. Okay. Yep. So this is 2020. Look at the graph. You can barely see it. Right here it is, the blue little bar here. Okay. Then 2021 it goes up just a smidgen. Okay, and then 2022 it goes up, and then boom, here it goes, explodes. 2023, 2024, and then
it's almost starting to double.
It did double. It doubled from 2022 to 2023. 2023 is just a little less than double, and then that doubled from that.
I mean, it's not going to take that long, man. Right? Like we said before, the best outcome here is if AI starts taking over coding jobs. And I'm not sure if this is going to work out well for the industry, because right now, because there's so many games, nobody cares if you release a garbage game anymore. We just move on to the next game.
Move on. Yeah.
Right. So if you're going to have more companies be able to hire less people and use AI to help them make a game, that's even more companies trying to bide for your attention and money, trying to make video games. So I think what's going to end up happening is it's going to seem like a great idea at first because everyone's going to save a bunch of money. But then everyone's going to be like, I can make a video game because I can hire a small group of people and then use AI to help me. And then you're going to have so many companies trying to make games that you're just lost in the sauce, right? It'll be like Epic, where there were so many games coming on Epic that they didn't even know. Nobody even knows what the hell's going on. They're like hundreds and thousands of games every month, and nobody knew what anything was anymore. Like, do you want it to be that to the point where you're looking at so many games that nothing matters anymore? Like, I don't even care. Like this, like,
right.
Hey, this month's new game list, 25,000 games. Like, what do you want me to? Where do I even start? Like, if I type in the word strategy game, oh, your list has been condensed down to 7,500 games. Like, what am I gonna do? Scroll through 7,500 games trying to figure out which one I want? No. Right. So where does this go, man? Where too many games and not enough quality. And the quality, we'll see. Cream rises to the top.
Well, here's what I like about the. I know it sounds weird. Here's what I like about the layoffs that happen at Xbox. Majority of the people that got laid off are upper management, middle management people. Okay, good. And I've been one that says that all of these companies that have problems, they all have problems with upper management, middle management that don't know what they're doing. They let the devs hang out and dry. Okay, hang there and dry out because they're not doing their job correctly. So you have these things. Laura Fryer said in her video, you have people that don't know what they're doing. Okay, they don't know what scale. They can't hit their goals. They can't do the things they need to do because their upper management's not pushing them to do this. Okay. And then when they do, by the way, okay, they're like, we're doing crunch, right? Because, well, I've made this analogy before. On a film set, if we have 12 pages to film and we only do 10, well, those 2 pages go to the next day. Well, we have 12 pages the next day. Well, now we have 14, right? And then we have 24. Then we have 36. Whatever you don't do, you got to do, but it just keeps piling up. Well, if you don't get it done, then the budget keeps increasing because now you're going extra days, extra hours, extra nights, extra film, right? You're bringing the budget up. That's what's happening in the film in the gaming industry. The gaming industry is, hey, we need to hit level 1. Level 1 needs to be done by May 12th. Okay, and they're like, all right, May 12th comes, they're not done with level 1. Now they have to get level 2 by July 4th. Okay, well, they're not done with that either. They're still working on level 1, right? And it just keeps building up. And by that time, they're like, all right, well, it's time to crunch. Well, because they're trying to get it all in before the deadline of the game be actually launching, where you get things like, we're not going to get it like Battlefield. Right, we're not gonna have it done before, and that's why you get day 1 patches. This is why you get broken, buggy, unfinished games. This is what happens.
Yeah, but if you don't have a deadline, nothing gets done.
Correct.
You got to set a deadline,
right? So look, I know it sucks that people lose their jobs, and you can look at it 2 ways. You can look at it: the people that lost their job were really good people; they were the best in the business, and they lost their job. Or you can look at it as these were the weakest links; we had to get rid of them. Or you can look at it as these were the highest paid people, and we had to get rid of them. Right? There's so many ways to look at it. And obviously, everyone's child is beautiful and perfect. No one's child is the problem. But sometimes your child is the problem. Sometimes you are the problem. Let me go to this next story real fast, Sarge. Halo. Even before Halo layoffs, there was tension at Halo Studios. Well, if you remember, 343 Studios was Halo Studios. But 343 is still there. And now they made a separate studio called Halo Studios.
I wonder what they're making.
So I wonder if the problem that keeps happening, if there was tension at 343 and now there's tension at Halo, I don't know, but you might want to look into your upper management and middle management, because if there's problems in the new studio, that means the problem that was at the old studio moved over to the new studio. And you could probably figure out who that is, because I don't think everyone moved over, right? It was only supposed to be the people that were passionate about Halo that were making Halo. Okay, so it says at least 5 employees at Halo Studios have been fired as part of a company-wide layoff at Microsoft. Really, though? 5? 5 employees? We're going to have an article written about 5 employees. On Wednesday, according to the developer with the knowledge of the situation, an estimated 200 to 300 people remained at the studio. Okay. So employees across Microsoft Xbox division received an email from Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer Wednesday morning addressing organizational shifts hitting the team over the coming days. Halo Studios employees that also laid off received an additional invite to the meeting with organization leaders for 2 very long 2 hours later. The teams called beyond the discussion severance packages, reasons provided for the firings alleged or aligned with Spencer's memo to increase the effectiveness. Okay. It says, quote, I'm personally super pissed that Phil's email to us bragged about how this was the most profitable year ever for Xbox in the same breath as pulling the lever on the layoffs. The developer for Total Engadget was sure that as part of it was also supposed to be proud about. Okay, we'll get to his memo in a second. Okay, Halo Studios is currently working on multiple games, including the next mainline Halo installment and also a Steward Halo Infinite, which is also quietly spinning down to the content cadence. And the mood for the studio is tense, especially when it comes to one project. There's 5 people that got let go here. They're making it sound like the whole studio is imploding, right? Like 5 employees got fired. They probably were the shittiest employees or the highest paid employees. You can figure that out yourself.
Or both.
Right, highest paid and the and the shittiest, right? I mean, if there's problems inside the studio, it's very easy to figure out who moved over from one studio over to the next, and figure it out, right? Halo's got bigger problems than 5 people losing their job.
The memo that Phil wrote, though, that's corpo speak. That's not him. That
Still wrote it.
No, that's a speech that was given to him to read. He didn't write that. He didn't.
Well, maybe we don't know that for sure. Right? Here's the thing. Phil Spencer says today we're sharing decisions that will impact the colleagues across the organization, the position of gaming to enduring success, and allowing us to focus on strategic growth areas. Okay, which means things that are already making money for us. We're gonna double down on that. Okay?
That's correct.
to end the decrease work in certain areas of the business and follow Microsoft's lead. Now, as he says, Microsoft's lead. So Microsoft is getting rid of upper management, middle management, and gutting teams that are not doing their job. He's saying that business follow Microsoft's lead is removing layers of management to increase the agility and effectiveness out of respect for those impacted today, where specifics today or notifications and organizational shifts will be shared by the team leaders in the coming days. Okay. He says, I recognize that these changes come at a time when we have more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before, which is so...
We don't have gaming hours. We don't have more gaming hours. We have the same gaming hours.
Well, there's more gaming hours because there's more gamers, right? That's why.
If you're using people as a I guess a
metric. He's using it as a metric. Yeah. Okay. So they have everything: more players, more games, more gaming hours, and even before he says our platform, hardware, and game roadmap have never looked stronger. So great. You're setting it up, right? This is called a shit sandwich. Compliment, fire people. This is what we're doing.
Yep.
Here's the firings, and then here's what we're doing in the future. Okay. It says the success of seeing currently is based, though, tough decisions, and we made it previously. It says we must make choices now for continued success in the future years, and key part of that strategy is discipline and prioritize the strongest opportunities. Again, a business has to do this. It doesn't want it to do this. Okay, so the future-proofing,
growth or nothing.
Right. There's no down. It has to go up. If it goes down, everyone gets fired. The studio, the whole fucking thing closes. But if it does this, fantastic, right? If we made $2 billion last year, we need to make $4 billion this year. We made $4 billion last year, we made $8 billion this year, right? That's the way it works. Exponential growth. So that's what they're pushing at here for longevity. Okay, it says we will protect what is thriving and concentrate efforts in areas of the greatest potential while delivering on the expectations that the company has for our business. This focused approach means that we can deliver exceptional games and experiences for players for generations to come. Okay, it says prioritizing our opportunities and essentials, but that does not lessen the significance of this moment. Simply put, we would not be where we are today without the time, energy, and creative of those whose roles were impacted. Now, I talked about this earlier. The initiative that made The Perfect Dark, 7 years, they had nothing to show for it. That sentence right there says that these people were invaluable. What did they do? What did they do? They wasted millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars for 7 years, and they had nothing to show for it. So how do these people, keep, without the time and energy and creativity, we wouldn't be where the roles that we are today. What are you talking about? All right, these decisions are not reflecting the talent, creativity, and dedication of the people involved. What did they do? Pull names out of a hat? Did they pull names out of the hat? They're like, Ted, sorry, Ted, you're going home. What is this, like Hunger Games? Like, no, you literally picked out the people from their works, either work ethic, what they're doing, what they produced, something. You can't just be like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, everyone's got to go. Like, that's not what you're doing. You're literally picking, you said it before the show started, guy from Fifth Element. Where
Zorg.
Yeah, he's like, sir, we need to get rid of 500,000 people, maybe one of the smaller groups. And he's like, make it 1 million. Right? And just that's it. They just fire because they're like, yeah, whatever. They don't care. Okay. It says our momentum is also not accidental. Okay. It's also the results of years of dedicated effort from our teams. HR is working directly to impact the employees to provide severance plan benefits aligned with local laws, including paid health care coverages and job placement resources to support those transitions. Employees whose roles were eliminated are encouraged to explore open positions. Think about that for a second. Instead of just going, hey, Sarge, we really like your work.
Company's too big.
We're going to move you over to this. They said, no, we're going to fire you. Go compete for everybody else who will be fired.
Company's
try
too
to
big.
Get your job back.
Yeah. Company's too big. Fill out an application.
Oh, and by the way, that position that's open, it's a contract position. So no benefits. All right. Thanks.
Could be.
It says, thank you, everyone who has shaped our culture and products and our community. We'll move forward with deep appreciation and respect for all of those who contribute to our journey. No, stop it. You didn't give a shit about these people. You probably don't even know half of their names. Okay.
But that is a complete total thing from HR, what he just read.
Yeah, it's jargon for the investors.
Yeah, it's not from him, though. It's not from him. Microsoft told him he's got to lay people off. I'm sure he didn't want to, but this is what was happening. Like, when the upper boss talks, you've got to do what he says. It's not like you have a choice, right? And once again, they always try to blame it on the consumer, right? So You try to get one over on us. You lowball the price. You hire guys who are contractors. You use AI. You overcharge us for a game. We don't buy it. So you guys don't make enough money. Then you start laying people off. And then somebody gets online and wants to troll people and says, well, it's because you guys didn't buy the game why we had to lay people off. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, you're supposed to make a product that I want. If you make a product that I don't want and then you get fired because of it, that's not my fault. That's your fault.
Right.
Right. Your job is to make me believe that I need your product. If you're not doing your job well enough, then I don't need your product. I don't think I need it. So I don't want to buy it. Right. So if they're doing this over and over again, especially with these over bloated companies or development teams, these guys are spending like you just said for Battlefield, $400 million.
500.
Right. By the time it's done, I'm sure it's going to be near 6. Yeah. Right. So 4 studios working on a game. And you think just because there's 4 studios working on it, you're going to be able to cover the bases. It's the way that the chef is cooking in the kitchen that is causing the problem. It is not the dev teams themselves. If you couldn't do the game with one studio because of this list of problems, and then you put 4 studios on it, and the list of problems is exactly the same, then it's the chefs in the kitchen. It's how you guys are preparing this stuff is why you guys can't do it, right? Something has to change. You can't tell me you're putting even more people on the job, but yet you're still having the same problems. So that means nobody in there is a problem solver. We're just doing the same job we were before with just more people. So we're spending even more money. It doesn't make sense, man. At some point, you have to put people in positions of management that know how to manage a team.
Yeah.
They don't. And it's obvious at this point.
All right, next story is EA Sports announces return of college basketball. Okay, EA Sports is bringing back college basketball video games. In the post of social media, EA Sports announced a return to the sports with a simple message: bring the madness. The post said, let's run back. As far as when the first college basketball game since 2009 will be released, at Matt Brown and Extra Points reports that the first game should come for 2028-2029 season. That lines up with the Insider Gamer heard upon taking the sources. Do you know why I think they're getting the NCAA basketball and why they brought the football back last year?
Because they're losing the license.
They're losing the license. I think they're going to lose the license for Madden.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the NFL, I should say.
They should never have had it. They should never had it.
Well, they'll still have the NFL, but they won't have the exclusive, which I think is much better. So they know they're going to be losing this, and they're going to have competition in football, and this is why they're going back to the NCAA football, and this is why they're going back to NCAA basketball, because these are 2 other franchises that no one else is doing, and they have a set, no competition, again, in the NCAA space, and also the college basketball for the basketball game and for the football game. So, look, I hope Madden, they don't renew, right? Obviously, EA owns Madden, but EA doesn't have the license exclusive anymore if people don't buy this Madden this year. If Madden doesn't sell this year well, NFL will let everybody else, whoever wants to make a football game, and that is better for everybody, because that'll make Madden better. That'll make other football games better. Okay? So this will be very interesting to see, but this is why I think EA Sports is coming back with basketball college and football college, because they know they're going to be losing out on that NFL stuff, and Madden won't sell as well because there'll be other competition in that space. All right,
let's hope.
I mean, if there's another football game with the NFL license and EA is not it, I actually might buy a football game. Right?
I just want to see competition on all levels of gaming. I don't want to see any exclusive licenses for any bullshit. Everyone should be able to make a game.
Yeah. There should be competition. We talked about this a couple weeks ago on my morning show. Like, remember back in the 80s and 90s how many fucking baseball games there were?
A shit ton.
There was so many. And football games, so many football games, so many hockey games and baseball games and basketball games.
Somebody wants to take a shot.
And now there's like one. Right? Baseball, MLB The Show is it, man, for Major League Baseball. That's it. They're like the only show in town, MLB The Show. Everybody else is smaller, like fake teams or whatnot. Okay? There needs to be more game companies making competition so these other games, even though MLB The Show is probably the best baseball game out there because, well, it's the only one out there, right? I would love to see RBI come back. I would love to see other third party or independent studios making baseball games again and competing with MLB The Show, because MLB The Show is getting stale itself because there's no competition. It's against itself. So it's competing against last year's edition. It's competing against the year before's edition. Same with Madden. This is why they take things out and put things back in, because they're their only competition they have. Until now, Sarge, you got Backyard Baseball 2001 making a comeback.
Backyard Baseball?
After more than 2 decades, Playground Productions and Mega Cat Studios announced homage to the entertainment Backyard Baseball 2001 is making a comeback on modern platforms as Backyard Baseball. Backyard Baseball 01 is enhanced, remastered on PC, mobile, and also content officially licensed by MLB athletes. That also players enjoy the original sequels to Backyard Baseball 97 and Backyard Baseball 98. Although MLB The Show is the main officially licensed game series for MLB, Backyard Baseball captures the heart of many young PC gamers well before the first MLB The Show game was released in 2006. Backyard Baseball lets players build a dream team of MLB athletes for a game and the entire season. Several MLB legends are also in Backyard Field as young kids wanting to make their name for themselves up in the player's guide. So there you go, right? A nice little game that was back in the day. It's coming back out, and they're allowed to use the license of MLB, right? This is what it should be, though. Obviously, I don't want to remaster this. I want
remaster.
Make the game, like make a new game of Backyard Baseball, not 2001 type of thing, right? But so that's what it needs to be, man.
Like the little kid versions of the actual players. Is that what there is?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah. So you had the real athletes.
So it's like kids. It's like the Sandlot, but with MLB players.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that's coming out. All right. We're near the end of the show. We're not going to get to the rest of these stories, but we
need to talk about Superman.
Well, that's what we're doing. Yeah, I want to get to Superman, and I also want to get to the trailer for Running Man. Okay,
Did you watch it?
I did. Okay, so which one do you want to talk about first, Superman or Running Man?
I'm afraid whichever one we do first, we're not going to talk about the other one. I really want to talk about Superman.
Time. I want to talk about both of them.
Okay.
So which one do you want to talk about first?
I would rather finish on Superman, so let's do Running Man first.
Okay. So you said the Running Man the other day in chat, and I was like, what is he on? I was like, what is he talking about? And then I saw the trailer after I got off stream, and I watched it, and the first thing out of my mouth was, they showed too fucking much. Like, I know the whole plot line and everything about that movie, which made me not want to watch the movie, right? I didn't care so much about it wasn't like the campy one that was with Arnold back in the day.
Yeah, but that was the best, bro.
Right, but this is more accurate towards the book, supposedly. Okay, which is fine. But I watched the trailer and I was like, I felt nothing. I felt nothing for this.
Well, that's because you don't remember the conversations we've had in the past, including the people in this chat from years ago, when we said they're gonna make these remakes.
Sure, 100%.
Which one was gonna be next? And we all discussed it. We had Running Man was in one of the top 5.
Yeah, Running Man, and then the other one was what's the other one?
Top 5 choices.
You know, there's another one that was a campy one. Oh, Demolition Man. Demolition Man was another one that they would do a remake of, right?
Yeah.
So
here we are.
Yeah, I watched this. I was like,
you know what it is? When
I like Glenn Powell.
When Total Recall remake came out, that's when we started having discussions in chat about what the next remake was going to be, and Running Man was definitely in the running. So yeah, I'm proud of everybody in chat who was with us during
that's
Total
years
Recall.
Ago.
Yeah, whenever Total Recall came out. Yeah.
The problem with this is, I miss trailers, man. I miss trailers.
Well, you miss trailers done right.
Yeah, trailers that showed very little but gave you interest in the movie to go, hey, I'm going to go to the theater and watch that. Altern made a joke about it the other day. He says, Running Man showed all the good parts, so all you're paying for now is to watch the shitty parts of the movie, right? When you go to the actual theater, right? Because they showed all the funny quips and the action sequences and what's happening in the movie. They showed way too much. I hate it. I hate when they do that. Just give me a tease, man. Give me a tease of what the movie is so I can go, oh, that looks good. I'm going to go watch it. And if the movie sucks, at least they got me in the seat so I could pay for it.
We don't have those people in the positions of power that make the trailers. It's not the guy that filmed the trailer. It's the marketing guy the editor of what he picks to make the trailer. Those guys don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to entice an audience. They think that they're showing you stuff that makes it you want to go see it.
Right.
But people that have
they're
half
rooting
a brain, people that have half a brain are not being teased. They're being told. And if you don't tease me and you tell me, then I'm already making the decisions based on what you're showing me, whether or not I want to go see it or not. Right? Teasing me makes you want to go in the seat. If you're telling me what the movie is, then I'll just watch it at home.
Yeah, look.
There's a difference.
Even when girl or guy, whatever, okay? When you're getting teased by the opposite sex or same sex, whatever you're attracted to.
Playful.
Right. Yeah, sure, it's nice if they're right in front of you, ta-da! But at the same time, you want a little bit of play. You want to be like, why am I interested in this? Why am I going to go for this person? Why am I doing this? Like, yeah, wine and dine me a little bit before before we do the whole kabang, right? Like, the movie shows all the good parts. They show all the good parts. They tell me the entire story. Why do I need to go see it? Why do I need to go there and go, oh, well, it's the Running Man. I like Running Man. The people that are cutting the videos, like you just said, they don't understand that they're showing way too much and they're killing the film because people are like, it looks okay. I'll just wait for it to come on streaming service. You have to get people in the seats. You have to tease them and go, oh, that looks interesting. I want to see what happens there. I want to go to the theater and watch it. But they don't do that. Same thing with Superman, right? So what did you think about Running Man? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think about the trailer?
I watched it a couple times in a row because I look at different things. I'm looking at a trailer. The one thing, because I didn't read the book, right? Now I understand the movies always are not like the books. I get that, but the one major difference I realized when I watched it a few times was there's not like the hunter guy that's going after them.
Gladiator type
there's
of
no
guys.
gladiator going after them.
There's no the Jesse Body Ventura in the thing. Yeah,
it's like anybody can kill you and collect the bounty, like any schmuck on the street. So you're basically running away from the planet, right? That's insanity, right? Like, how does anyone win this game if any lunatic can pop a cap in you and collect the money, right? So I'm like, so if he's just an average guy trying to make it through, I'm like, everyone's after him, right? So he's just leaving a trail of dead bodies trying to survive for, well, how many days was it he has to survive?
I think it's 30.
Is it 30 days?
Yeah, it's a month. Yeah.
I thought he said 30 hours.
No, I think it's 30 days.
So
I think it's 30 days, right?
Everybody knows it's you, and you have to survive 30 days. That's insanity, bro. That's insanity.
Yeah, everyone's out to kill him.
I would have liked the whole thing if you put the gladiators back in that they're going after him, like actual bounty hunter people, not like some lunatic. Any lunatic with a gun. That's crazy, Eric. 30 days, right?
Yeah, it is 30 days, right? Yeah.
So what are we gonna do? We're gonna consolidate a 90-minute movie. You went through. Was gonna do it every once in a while. It's gonna go day 14, and they're gonna go through some things that they're gonna show you day 25. Like, how are they gonna do the time frame?
I've never read the book, but based on the trailer, here's what I think is going to happen, right? Because to get away, he has to survive the 30 days, and then he becomes rich, right? He's going to get double crossed by either what's the guy that plays Thanos? Goonies, Josh.
Well, he plays Killian. He plays Killian.
Yeah. But what's Josh? No,
Brolin.
Yeah. He's going to double cross him. Okay, or the guy with the squirt gun.
You're never supposed to win.
Yeah, I understand that. The squirt gun guy who thinks he's going to be his friend is going to be double cross him at the end, and something's going to happen.
Because he wants to get paid.
Yeah, so that's what I think is going to happen.
Everybody's a degenerate. You want to get paid.
Yeah, of course. Okay, Josh.
Well,
Brolin,
he's the comic. Well, it's
he's the comic relief, but he's also going to be the bad guy.
Yeah, but you could tell by the way the movie was. It had a little bit of Nobody. The way they filmed Nobody in there. Did you ever watch Nobody?
Yeah.
Right? And it also had a little bit of the ridiculousness of Hardcore Henry. like not first person, of course, but like
Yeah.
that kind of tempo for the movie. So it's like, oh, you know what else it reminded me of a little bit? What was the one where Jason Statham is injected with some crazy stuff, and he's gonna
Crack,
die?
isn't that? Is
And
it?
he's gonna
Isn't it called
die.
Crack or
And he's
something
got
like
to
that?
keep his heart going every so often. He's got to jumpstart himself in order to keep going. And he's
Yeah.
all
Isn't that called
raged-
Crack or something
he's
like that?
roiding out. Like, I thought that was hilarious. I know people didn't like that movie, but I thought it was the greatest. Anyway, I can't remember the name of the movie. It'll come to me. But it was
You
amazing.
think the Black Richard Dawson
Crank.
will double cross him?
Yeah,
it's-
Crank.
oh,
Crank.
I said Crack. It's Crank.
Yeah,
that's what
Crank.
it is. Yeah.
Thanks, Z.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I just wish they would show less to get people more excited about these movies. Now, let's go to the Superman, right? So Superman, there was a clip that they did in an interview with David Cornsweet. Now, Cornsweet is the guy who's playing Superman, Clark Kent. Okay. I've watched a bunch of interviews with him. Seems like a really nice guy. Seems like a really good actor. I'm excited to see what he is on film. Okay. Lex Luthor looks fantastic in the film. The actors look great for the film. But the story doesn't look too well. Now, I have a prediction I made with a short clip. I'm not going to play it here. Okay, go watch it. Okay, that I think the whole breakdown of what the story is, and I think I'm pretty goddamn close. Okay, I think I'm pretty damn close because today, Crowded House came in and said they leaked the story online. The whole story's out. So I already knew a little bit.
Why are they trying to fuck it over so badly?
So I watched it. I'm not going to ruin it for you guys, but I have to say I'm pretty close. But I am far apart because there's something else that happens, supposedly. But let me tell you, I am not excited. But I wasn't excited before because of a clip that was going around with David Cornsweet. He was talking about Superman. And this is what took me away, Sarge. He was saying that Superman, and he could do the things because he brings truth, justice, and then he pauses,
And
kind of looks around a little bit,
and all that other stuff.
and he says, and all the other good stuff. And I was like, what? I was like, that's an easy home run. That's a layup, truth, justice, and the American way. Okay. So people are like, well, he doesn't always say that. So I want to bring this up for a second. Okay. This is from the internet. This is from the AI overview. Okay. It says the phrase truth, justice, and the American way is the motto closely associated with Superman. It's originated in 1940, 80 years. Okay. During the Adventures of Superman radio show, it became iconic with the 1950s TV series. While it was temporary drop during World War II. Okay.
For obvious reasons.
It returned during Cold War era and has been the hallmark of the character ever since. Okay? It's who Superman is. He knew that. He knew that. And that's why when he said truth, justice, pause. Oh, shit, I'm not supposed to say this.
I'm not allowed to say this.
Right, I'm not allowed to say this, and all the other good stuff. And I was just like, what in the world? Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, well, I think you're kind of blowing it out of proportion a little bit.
No.
But that's a huge chunk. If the person that's playing the superhero and Superman, that's his thing. That's him. That's the character. Okay? If he can't admit that because James Gunn doesn't want him to think that way, or the actor doesn't want to think that way, or the metrics of something think that way, then that fundamentally is not Superman. Okay? I don't care what comic run it's from. Okay? If it wasn't during the Cold War, because that's the only time, or I'm sorry, World War II, ever since then, it's been in the comic. It was before the comic. It was like that's truth, justice, and the American way. But for some reason, they don't want to say it. They don't want to say it because, and Robert Jones said something earlier in the morning stream and said, well, maybe it's because of China. Maybe it's because of the optics when you go over there. But he's an American character.
It's an American superhero.
Yeah, it's an American superhero, right? Yeah. So maybe it's the optics. Maybe they don't want to advertise it that way.
Nobody's talking shit about Godzilla. Nobody's talking shit about Jackie Chan.
Yeah, they do their culture. They do their things.
Right. They let Jackie Chan just make his movie. They let Godzilla do his own movie. We don't let them stop them from speaking because it's coming to America.
Right. And then when I also look at the trailer, they also show too much. They show way too much. I've seen all the fight scenes. I've seen all the yelling scenes. I've seen all the bitch scenes where he's just bitching and he's just a beta Superman, right? Like that yelling sequence we talked about last week. It's like it just nothing feels like Superman. And I really, 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 really want to see this, but now I don't know if I can because I don't believe it's Superman. I don't. I believe it's Superman by name, and that's it.
The character of Superman is supposed to be portrayed by a man who's supposed to put himself in the position of, I have all this power. I am taught by a very low-key family. I'm taught morals, scruples, how to deal with your emotions. I grew up in a town where I get picked on because I'm not allowed to show who I am. Right? That's what his parents told him. Right? And it's almost the same line from Spider-Man. I'm not sure if the line was said in the original Superman movie or not, but the line is close. It's basically, if you have this kind of power, right, you have to know how to use it, right? You're not supposed to abuse this kind of power, right? So Superman is supposed to be the best in all of us, meaning that even as humans, we're supposed to strive to be the best we can, a monster in whatever we happen to like to do, like the best at whatever. Best sport player, best banker, best accountant, whatever it is you love to do, you're got to be the best of that. Be a monster. But to control yourself, even though you know you're the best or you think you might be the best,
Right.
you don't brag that you're the best. You just do your best, right? It's basically a almost like a nursery rhyme that's like, you're supposed to grow into this person and be the best you could possibly be, but be reserved about it and not brag to everybody and help everybody else around you. Use the powers that you have in order to do good to those around you, right? You don't take advantage. You don't abuse your power. Like if I'm an accountant, I'm the best accountant, I can fuck people over all day, make tons of money, screw them over on taxes and everything else, but you don't. You're supposed to try to better the people around you. So you do the best and you help everybody else around you. Same exact thing, except he's got superpowers. It's the same exact story. So how is it you want to take that kind of character and you want to remove the fact that the whole reason why he's got all these powers is so he doesn't have to use them? He doesn't give in to emotion. He wouldn't be screaming about a dog. He wouldn't be knocking holes in walls. He's not in control of his emotions. That's not Superman. He's not some kind of barbarian who wears a cape, right? That's why he's been called the Boy Scout and all as an insult to all the other superheroes in comics for years, because that's what he is. He follows the line of good always to a fault because he is a Boy Scout, right? So if you're not going to allow the character to be the character because you got to dirty him up, James Gunn, you want to give him a little edge, like that's not what Superman is. You're supposed to put Superman in a position where you know he can kill everybody in the room, right? But he finds a way to do it without killing everybody in the room, right? That's the whole point.
The other thing about this movie is that I think James Gunn inserted himself as Superman. Like, his whole thing about social media and how he got canceled, I think that's part of the plot line inside of this movie.
I'm sure. It has to be connected to the culture of the current day. I'm sure. I'm sure canceling of Superman is in there somewhere.
So here it says, rumor, Superman ticket price pre-sales have slowed as 100 million opening or less looks increasingly likely. This is terrible. If it's 100 million or less for this movie is costing them way too much. They need to make 600 million to make their money back. Now, it could. I hope the story's good. Okay, it says, while some of the estimates Superman's opening weekend have pointed to opening with as much as 200 million, it appears not even that the Man of Steel will be able to shrug the apparent superhero fatigue. There's no superhero fatigue, man. There's no superhero fatigue. It's shitty writing fatigue. That's the problem. Shitty writing fatigue, not superhero fatigue. Okay, Superman director James Gunn and his cast are currently touring the world promoting the first DC studio movie and will pay off and when the reboot opens in North America next weekend. Tracking has been all over the place, though the trades recently reported that 125 million to 145 million was looking likely, which also dipped very early estimates of 185 million to 200 million. That's a big dip. From 185 to 200 to 125 to 145, and now it's lower than a little than 90 million. Okay. So with the rumor budget of 225 million, not including the marketing, it should also disastrous start of the DCU. Gunn has said that it's fine with breaking even, but the blockbuster and barely turns a profit is hardly a win for a brand already running on fumes. Okay, so him saying this, right? I don't know why, but a little part of me says that I think he wants it to die. He's in charge of the DC universe going forward, right? But listen to this, right? Not including the marketing and also a disastrous start for DCU, but Gunn has said he'd be fine with breaking even, okay? But a blockbuster that barely turns a profit is hardly a win for a brand already running on fumes. Why is the brand running on fumes, right? It's running on fumes because the people writing the stories for these Marvel films and for the DC films don't understand the movies that they're writing. So it's running on fumes. Then why did you agree to make a movie? Why did you agree? So you're okay breaking even, and you're okay, right? That, well, it's running on fumes. So if it doesn't do good, it's because of the market is upset because the movies themselves have been bad.
Well, if it happened once, I wouldn't think about it. If it happened twice, I would probably ignore it. After 3 times, I start to ask questions, and after 6 or 7 times, it's not a coincidence anymore. There is, and I know you guys want to consider this a conspiracy theory, that's fine, right? But there is a concentrated effort currently here in this country to weather down our culture. Anything involving things that revolve around what we grew up knowing in the States, in your small town, like the movies, the art, everything. We're supposed to now hate all the things that we grew up with, and they're writing them badly on purpose so we ignore them. So basically, they want us to basically turn our head away from the heroes that we grew up on, so then we no longer have heroes.
Right.
And I don't understand how you could keep doing this over and over again and not make money and still be good with it. The only way that that's plausible is somebody is fitting the bill for you to make the loss, and they don't care. I'm not sure about you, but if I ran a company and I ran failure after failure for 8 years, I think I would go out of business. If I wasn't covering my nut, and I factor in the fact that you say that one really blockbuster good movie covers the failings of other movies, Mike, I get that. But we're looking at a long period of time now and a lot of fucking bombs, right?
Well, right, but movies like this, though, shouldn't be the one of the 7. It should be the one.
I understand, but my point still remains the same. These type of movies are being made to destroy the culture that we grew up on, and it doesn't matter to them, right? That's the issue to me. I didn't look at it before. I just let things happen. But after Marvel movie after Marvel movie and all these other movies that have to do with our culture, that they keep shitting on it on purpose, and I'm talking about all of it, right? Anything that has to do with us, right? They keep shitting on it. And so basically you give it the finger and you turn your head away from it in disgust. You're like, fuck them. So what you're really doing is turning your back on yourself, because what you believe to be a movie that's supposed to be for us isn't for us anymore. So they want to feed you other shit to replace it with. And they've been trying to feed us with these other movies that they want us to bond with, and they don't. It's not working, right? So we're left with this void of like shitty hero movies with shitty characters and writing. And on top of that, the ones that we know that we hold dear to our heart are written even worse on purpose. Why? What is this all for? Right?
I don't know.
You don't want to go watch a movie because you'd rather watch it at home. That's great, but they don't care. Remember, if you watch it at home, they're still not making enough money from the actual monthly payment for the Hulu or Disney Channel or whatever subscription service you have. Like, they're still not making money. So if you're not making money in the theater and you're not making money when we sell it to you at home, who's making money? Where are you guys making all this money from? Right? So then I start thinking, well, who would throw away billions of dollars and not have a problem with it? Well, there's only a few people on the planet. It's either a concentrated effort from a group, from a conglomerate of millionaires and billionaires, or it's a couple guys who are billionaires who want to see us fall. That's it. Everything else to me doesn't make any sense, because business-wise, you want to make money.
Yeah.
You can't tell me after 12 failures you're still open.
How do you not make, okay, so you have a Superman film. how are you making a Clayface film before you make a Wonder Woman, a Green Lantern, another Flash, another Batman, right? How do you make a Clayface, right? Like I don't understand the logic of where he's going of these absurd characters that people like people like Clayface, but are you going to watch a full-length feature film of Clayface?
Nobody knows who he is. And the
You know what I mean?
27,000 nerds who subscribe to Clayface in the comic book shop aren't going to keep the movie afloat.
Right. Right. It's mind-boggling to me that the way they're going with this. But that'll do it for the top stories for the past week. If you guys have any questions, the question bar is down below. I'll keep it running for a little bit. We got 6 questions, all from Altern. So if anybody else wants to ask a question, you're more than welcome to ask a question. It could do with what you've heard on the show. It could be anything in general. If it's a stupid question, I'm not going to read it, at least out loud. So there's that. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. And while we're waiting here,
I mean,
might as well advertise my album once again.
Do you understand what I'm saying though? Like, how many movies went by before it clicked in your head that something's wrong? Like,
mine was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That was the last movie I saw and went, I'm done. I'm not watching any more of these in the theater.
No, mine was after. I'm trying to remember how far back now it was.
It was actually before that, but that's the last movie I saw because I had to see it.
It was
finish
one
out
of the
between Spider-Man and everything else.
It was one of the Marvel movies after Endgame. I'm trying to remember which one it was. If it was the Hulk one or the other one, I can't remember which one it was.
Well, there wasn't a Hulk one. There was.
I started thinking, I'm like, there's something wrong here, man. Like, I don't understand how you could have this many bad writers about a comic book that has writing for fucking 80 years and you guys can't get a script together. Like, it doesn't make sense. And then it's the little things. It's the little things that the heroes say in the film that are uncharacteristic of what they would say in real life. And they keep changing things to make it fit like it's supposed to fit everybody. Like, it didn't make sense. And now I'm like, it's absurd, right? You're going to fuck around with Superman? Like, let me ask you a question. If you were going to release a Superman movie, right? Honestly, right? 2 years ago, you knew you were going to release a Superman movie. Like, what day you release Superman on?
Well, you released it on 4th of July.
Thank you. You release it on 4th of July.
Yeah, on 4th of
the
July.
Most American fucking day possible. You put the
100%.
most American fucking hero on the fucking and it happens to be Friday is the fucking 4th of July. And no, we're gonna wait till is it next week?
Next
or the
week
after?
It's next week. It's next weekend. Yeah.
To me, I don't right? You wanna pile on a little patriotism. You know, you want to pile on a little
They don't
bit.
believe in that.
I'm aware. Right?
Yeah,
there's an entire group of people right now who are trying to boycott the 4th of July. I'm like, bro,
what?
If you absolutely look it up, bro. Look at the article.
I haven't heard this.
If you hate this country so badly, or you dislike what's going on in this country right now, that you can't celebrate the actual birth of the country that allows you to do all the stupid shit you're doing, like that's brain rot, bro. Straight up brain rot. Right? You can move to anywhere else you want to go. There's plenty of countries out there. They're doing great. They're doing fine. They're doing fine. Like, but I don't get it. I don't get it.
First question is Travis says, Sarge. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I have to do this because of the of edits and stuff. It's Q&A with Sarge and 30. All right. So the first is Travis. He says, Sarge, you've been made head of EA. How do you save it?
How do I save it?
Yeah. You're the head. You're made head of EA. So you are Android Wilson. What do you do? How do you save it?
I hire I temporarily hire all the guys that are making Arma, Squad, Hell Let Loose, the original guys from DICE, and I have a meeting with them. I fire all the middle management guys who are working on the projects, anything to do with first-person shooters for my company. I go back to grassroots. We make a game based on actual battles that have happened in history. We make it modern. We base it off of the battles that are actually took place that we don't talk about, because in the modern day, nobody really talks about that. I understand for respect purposes, but we talk about every other battle from back in the day. So I think out of respect for the military, we should be talking about battles that happened in the modern day, and we should have those maps in there. And I think it should be done where real weapons, real kits, right? Still make it where the TTK is decent. It has to be crazy, but has to be team based. You get bonuses for having the 4 members of the team in there. Vehicles have to be important. They're not paper mache. Set a time limit in the match so the map's finished regardless of what you're doing. It's not just a Zerg fest. No skins, no bullshit.
Just make a game, huh?
Just make the game. You do map packs, but the map packs you make are not from new battles that already have. Those maps should already be in there, but you bring back old maps from the old Battlefield games, so that way people are more inclined to buy the map pack, because that way they're maps that you've played before, just in the new game, as opposed to trying to give you new maps that you might not like, right? You take the good maps from the old games and bring them back.
Alternate says no skins, you're fired. All right.
Yeah, no skins. I mean, I'll tell you what, you get skins, but you get skins every 25 levels, right? So you get 4 skins.
You're putting them in the game,
right? You put them in the game every 25 levels. You get a skin.
Four skins. Is that what you're going with?
Yeah,
four.
You get 4 skins per character.
4 skins. Got it.
4 skins per character, and then when you unlock all the characters, you get another group of skins for the characters, and there and
4 more skins. 4
more skins. And then you would actually get those skins would be based on all the actual military uniforms that our boys wear, like Special Marines, the Navy SEAL, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, the real uniforms, not like stuff that we make look cool, like 87 pockets and 400 bullets across the front, like the actual uniforms.
Kuda Papa says, "What was Sarge drinking? Curious."
Mac 12.
There you go, Mac 12. Next one is Altern says, ready to defend democracy in Helldivers 2 on Xbox. Oh, yeah, I forgot to say, Xbox is finally getting Helldivers 2 a year and a half afterwards. 2 weeks ago,
August
I said
26th?
that, yeah, 26th of August. I said there was a rumor going around that's saying that at the Game Fest, they were supposed to show a Helldivers commercial, but they had it up on their YouTube channel, but they privated it. Someone found it. And it said that we need more people for democracy. And I said, oh, well, they did open it up for other regions. I was like, maybe they're talking about that. I said, but I think they're coming out with Xbox on the Xbox. So I think they could have done it earlier, right? Because it's live service. So I think it should have been on Xbox last summer, personally. This is their own rules, right? The live service games like Marathon's coming out at the same time on all consoles. So they should have made Helldivers come out at the same time, but they didn't. They put it on just on PlayStation. But now Xbox has it. So now we'll see if it sells. We'll see if it sells on Xbox. Let's see. The next question is, do you think Superman makes more money than Jurassic Park? Well,
tough one.
We do have a section in our Discord right now. And in Discord, there is a box office predictions. Right now, we haven't put our predictions yet for Superman. Right now, we have only our predictions for Jurassic Park. Okay. And Jurassic Park right now, my domestic opening weekend for Jurassic Park is $82 million for opening weekend. Okay. Opening weekend worldwide is $250 million. That's international. And then the grand total that I have is $820 million. I don't think Superman beats Jurassic Park. I think Superman ends up around $600 million, high 500s, low 600s. But that's where I'm thinking. I haven't put my official number down, but I think Jurassic Park beats Superman. I think Superman gets killed after the first grouping watches it, and then that's it. It opens up.
Zero word of mouth.
Because it'll confirm what the leaks were, because the leaks right now are just leaks. Rumors. But if it is true, based on the leaks, movie's done. The movie's done.
But if the leaks are real, wouldn't they want to take down the site? Couldn't they do that?
I guess you can, but the internet always wins. So.
Yeah, I know.
So what do you think, Sarge? Do you think it makes more money than Jurassic Park?
I've never been paying attention to Jurassic Park. What was this opening weekend? Because it opened last week, right?
It's out. It just opened. No, it opened up today.
Oh, I
It
thought
opened
it
up
was
today.
last week. It opened
Like
up.
yesterday, today it opened up. Yeah. So
what
it's,
did it open up to?
whatever happens this weekend is what it is.
Oh, so we don't know. That's good. So I can't make up a number then. All right. I'm gonna say that Jurassic Park does 4th of July weekend, bro. People go to the movies. The kids take the movies to the dinosaurs. I'm gonna
It's not
say
getting good reviews. It's not getting.
it doesn't matter. The kids want to see it. Doesn't matter. The kids want to see it. See, you're thinking it as you. You got to think about with kids. So I'm gonna say
I have a kid. He's 10. He doesn't want to
Jurassic-
see it.
that's great. Your kid's not normal. So I'm gonna say 150 million for Jurassic Park opening weekend.
Domestically.
Yeah.
Okay. Worldwide, what do you think?
I'm not sure if the rest
That's
of the world
international. I should
keeps
say
loving-
international.
keeps
International.
loving dinosaurs. Maybe additional 25 or 30. So maybe 200 and something by Monday.
So international, you think it's going to make 220, 220?
I think maybe by Monday by 220. I say
Well,
220.
we're asking just the weekend. Just the weekend.
Yeah, 220.
And then what do you
Jurassic Park
think
does 220.
What do you think the grand total?
Superman for the weekend that it opens up. It's not going to be a holiday weekend. I probably would say maybe 85 million. Because once the first grouping
Domestic.
goes out, yeah, domestic. Once the first grouping of people go out and they start talking, that's going to be it.
Yeah. All right. Next one is, I wasn't here at the start of the stream. Can you please tell again where I can find your album? Well, thanks for asking, Altern. I appreciate that. You can find it on all major places: Spotify, Anchor.fm, Pandora, iHeart, Apple Music, anywhere and everywhere. You can listen to music. You can either download it, you can stream it, you can purchase it, and I do appreciate it. Next one says, what's worth more? Mario Kart Tour, Galactus popcorn bucket. Both are $80. Yeah, did you see this popcorn bucket? It's Galactus's head. They're charging $80 for this popcorn bucket. $80, Sarge, for a popcorn bucket. Have you seen it?
I heard about it, and I think it's ridiculous.
Let me see if I can get a picture of it. Popcorn bucket. Yeah, here it is. Oh, no, I can't click on the page. Yeah, okay. So this is the popcorn bucket. It's $80. $80 for a Galactus popcorn bucket. You know what my answer is there, Sarge?
People are just fucking retarded, bro.
I'm not
I mean,
paying
a little
$80
kid,
for a bucket.
listen,
My
mom and
kid
dad
is not getting an $80 popcorn bucket.
Mom and dad who are driving around in a fucking Mercedes are gonna buy the fucking kid the fucking giant dude with the popcorn head. That's what's gonna happen. It just you're not gonna sell a lot of them, but they're gonna sell them. Someone's gonna be on the wall. One of the streamers is gonna have it in his house behind his head. It's gonna happen. It's not like you're not gonna see them. They're gonna be around.
Well, sure, but I'm not buying that. Next one, with EA college basketball coming, do we see a house on the court? Oh, because yeah, you know what? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes because they put a house on the field for Madden football, so why not have a condo or some sort of glitching out on the map? I'm going to say yes. What do you think, Sarge? Over or under? Do you think a house shows up on the basketball court for EA?
Yeah. I'm sure some kind of nonsense is going to happen, but they
Some
really
sort
want
of
to try
glitch.
they want to really try to sell it though. I mean, the basketball they want to make some money. I'm hoping that they take some time on it. If it glitches out at all, like I've been done with the EA Sports series for a while, but I would hope that they wouldn't. But we'll see. When you don't have an exclusive license and you actually have to release something that's good for people to buy, sometimes things change a little bit.
Krabby says, would you watch robots play human sports like soccer, baseball, basketball? I showed Sarge last week a boxing match with robots, and I know they have a soccer one now. I don't know, man. They would have to. What's that movie with Hugh Jackman when he was the boxer with the robot, where he was the boxer but he was boxing with the robot? What was that called? Like, the reason people like watching gladiators fighting, MMA, UFC, is because it's man-on-man fighting and different styles. If it's just robots fighting, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. Right now, I'm going to say no. But years down the line, if the robots become like the movie, it's the real steel, something like that, something like that, then I would say it would be interesting to watch. What about you, Sarge?
I think he saw the video of the Chinese people having those guys play soccer and the robots.
Yeah, there's soccer. Yeah, that's what we saw. Yeah.
Well, they're starting.
Yeah, of course.
So how long do you think before we get robot ball?
Oh, I think it's already happening. I mean,
no, the kind of that you have in your head.
No, I understand what you're saying. Where you're watching just like a regular soccer match, and there's a cyborg on the fucking field, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I think we're about 10 years away from that.
I think the first thing we're going to see is actual combat between robots. That's to be the first.
Which we saw about the fighting.
Yeah, but not the. But once again, the way you see it in your head, not that basic stuff that we see.
Yeah, not the controller-based ones like we saw last week.
Yeah,
right. We're talking about like real steel. With,
like a Boston Robotics,
and you're
like
fighting with the
no, not a human, just robot versus robot, like a Boston Dynamics fully blown.
Oh, you think they're automated by themselves?
Yeah. That's
I don't see that happen anytime.
Oh, +5
exosuit where humans are outside the ring, fighting inside the ring with the boxing. That happens way sooner.
No,
way sooner.
You end up killing somebody like that. You can't do that with that kind of punching power. Heavy robot.
No. You're not understanding. You're wearing an exosuit outside. The robots are in the ring fighting. So if I do this, the robot in the ring is doing that. You're not killing anybody. It would be.
Oh, so now we're doing real. So now you're just doing the movie Real Steel.
That's what I just said. Yeah, I see that happening before autonomy robots doing it for big sport. Next one. It says, how high do you think the budget will get for the next Battlefield by the time it releases? I'm going to say 600, 650. I don't think it's 600 now, is it? I mean, it comes out in 6 months. Yeah, I'll say 600. I'll say 600 million.
How high do you think the budget will get the next Battlefield? 4 studios, bro. Krebsy, come on, man. Let's just do basic stuff. How much was the last Call of Duty? It was only 1 studio. How much was it? We got those numbers. You got the numbers.
It's probably like 300 million.
No. I'm saying, how much was it for the last Call of Duty game that came out? Only 1 studio made it. What was the price on it?
I don't know. Let me see.
Right, to see if it comes up. Because in my mind, 4 studios is 4 times the cost. So if you spent 100 and some odd $1 million doing it, we're looking at 500 million easy.
Okay, developer budget for Call of Duty franchise significantly increased over time, with some titles costing upwards of 700 million to developer. So there you go. Modern Warfare 2019 was 640 million. Black Ops 3 was 450 million. Okay. So Battlefield's going to be somewhere between 600 and 700 million. They're not making their money back.
I'm not saying full studios. They're saying they have 4 studios working on it, but not everybody in the studio is working on it. So they're using people from different studios because they're better at different types of game mechanics. I get that. It's not the entire studio. It's part of the studio. I'm going to say probably close to 450 or 500.
Well, they're already at 500, and the game comes out in the next 6 to 8 months.
Then we're in ludicrous price zone. You're looking at over 6. That's insane, bro. It's not even Grand Theft Auto. That's insane.
They're never going to make that money back.
It's insane. Like how? So the only way we can save Battlefield is if they have to spend so much money on it. They bankrupt themselves and then sell the license to somebody else because they think that they can't make a game on it.
Either that, or they keep Battlefield and they don't make another Battlefield, and they keep that Battlefield out for years and years and years just to recoup the money.
Then make something else and call it something else.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Krebsy says, what IP do you think the canceled ZeniMax MMO was using? Starfield or something new?
The leaks was something very similar to Elder Scrolls. That's why they canceled it.
Oh,
it was another fantasy type of MMO. That's the rumors. That's the rumors.
I thought the same. I didn't see anything on that. I thought it was too similar to what they were already making in a different realm. It wasn't in Elder Scrolls.
That's correct.
And they just kind of looked at it and said,
"Why do you have
again?"
two?
I'm just saying this. I don't know if this is what happened. They looked at that and said, "Why do we want to play that when we already have this? This is an 11-year-old game. It's out. It's very popular. Elder Scrolls is very popular. It's making money. That's why they're still supporting it." And they're like, is this too close to this? Right? I mean, I think it would have been cool, Krebsy, if they made it into a Starfield MMO type of thing where you could see other people, but they could maybe add that into Starfield later. But yeah, I think it was too similar. I think it was a game that was almost too close to Elder Scrolls Online, and they were like, yeah, let's just cancel it.
Yeah,
I didn't know they actually That
it was
was a
something
rumor.
similar to Elder Scrolls. It was a fantasy MMO. It was another fantasy MMO. That was the rumor.
Curtis says, do you think EA should keep Anthem live until Iron Man game gets revealed? Because in my opinion, that could sell a few copies of Anthem. Well, we did say, or at least I said, I think the flying mechanic should be at least as good as what they'd had in Anthem for Iron Man. I think we talked about it earlier. I think Anthem should stay up for the single player. I think if you want to play it, you should stay. But yeah, I think that's actually pretty decent. You know, if they kept it out, it would kind of like cross promote because they're like, oh, the flying is this. Anthem might sell some more, perhaps, but it's not going to happen. It's closing January now. So, I mean, I haven't played it, but like I said, my son plays it.
Lawsuits are coming, bro. Lawsuits are coming.
I hope so. Robert Jones says, why do you guys keep remaking the same shit instead of doing new stuff? 19 Superman movies, 18 Batman movies, move on. Because if you go to the comics, Batman's the most popular character almost on the planet. The only one more popular than him that sells comic books is Spider-Man. I think Superman sold he's got over 3,000 issues and over 600 million copies or some shit like that. No, that's 600. But that's wrong. I think it's like 6 million or something. I forget what it is. But the most copies it ever sold was when Superman died, right? Batman sells really well, but the last decade and a half, Superman hasn't broke over 100,000 copies sold for comics. And that's the most that's one of the most popular characters. So who do you think they're going to make? Do you think Aquaman's going to come in? Even though Aquaman, Jason Momoa made $1 billion, they're going to make that again? I don't know. I don't understand how they don't know how to write comic book movies when there's literally issues.
80 years. Like, so does someone,
let
me ask you a question. So they say we're thinking about making a super movie. We're thinking about using as a writer. Do they just run to a comic book store and buy a Superman comic? They buy one comic, then read it.
I mean, supposedly, I got it. Supposedly the Superman movie that's coming out right now is borrowing from the run. It's not the run, but it's like taking bits and pieces from different runs between the years of like 2012 to 2018 or some shit like that.
Bro,
it's like basing on like 4 different series. What's that?
You don't need to base a Superman movie on one series of comics that are 3 issues long, because right. You guys don't know how to write fucking Superman. Well,
that's what they're doing. Krebs says, "Are you waiting for the bad news since the 40th anniversary for Back to the Future?" Wait. Are you waiting for the bad news since the 40th anniversary for Back to the Future? Am I waiting for the bad news?
Like, the bad news is going to do a remake, and they're gonna sex swap.
Are they gonna announce a remake of Back to the Future? I mean, I would just re-release it in theaters for the 40th anniversary. That would make more money than a remake. That's all I would do.
You're insulting my intelligence if you're going to remake Back to the Future. You would make more money by just putting the movie Back to the Future back into the theaters.
Yeah. Back to the Future.
You would make more money. You'd make more money.
We're going back to the theaters. Yeah. Where we're going, we don't need streaming services.
Listen, there's certain movies that you really should not remake. I'm being honest. Like, you don't need to remake it. The movie's good as is. You don't need to change it for modern audiences. The movie hands up on its own. Like, I already heard they want to redo Sound of Music and they want to use Zegler, right? They want to remake the Sound of Music, and they fucking A right. They do. Look that shit up when the show ends, bro. Look it up, right? They want to remake the Sound of fucking Music with Rachel fucking Zegler.
So is she going to play a person that's in Austria? How are they going to tell that story? She says she's Latina.
Tell me.
How do you make that story?
Tell me what you don't hate culture without telling me you don't hate culture. Tell me.
Well, there is a rumor going around that Indiana Jones is getting rebooted, and they want Pedro Pascal. I know it's just all a meme. I hope he gets it. Because I don't want to watch the next Indiana Jones anyway. So please give it to Pedro Pascal as Indiana Jones. Please,
man.
Go ahead and do it. There's going to be millionaires being made because on YouTube, there'll be millionaires made because of how much content they will make off Pedro Pascal being Indiana Jones. And I'm here for it.
It's still based off the very, very provable fact. Back in the late 50s, 60s, and 70s, there was a lot of drug use, a lot of hallucinogens, okay? And that was the catalyst for all the movies that we got in the late 70s, 80s, and 90s because of experiences that people had. The drugs of the current day from 2000 on, right, are drugs that would fuck your brain up, not help you on any level for creativity,
They just
and
make you brain dead.
destroyed your brain. Thus, we have remake after remake after remake after remake because nobody has a fucking thought in their brain because their brain is fucking cooked. Okay? If you hear another remake coming out of a movie, it's Tide Pods and everything else that these fuckers are doing, man. No creativity. Zero creativity, right? I ran into somebody came into work the other day, right? You know how you run into a family like they're a military family, like everybody in our family's in the military, or you run into like police family, like my son's in the police officer, I was in the police officer, my grandfather was in the police officer, like that's
like 4 generations.
That's a cop family. That's what they love to do. That's what they do, right? Well, I ran into a science family. Like I didn't even know they still existed, right? Woman sits down in front of grandmother, PhD, biomechanics, biosciences. Her husband works on the Hadron Collider in Switzerland. She goes out to visit him 3 times a year. That's where he lives because he's over there trying to make black holes and solve the fission problem, right? Right.
So that's who we blame.
Her daughter's a biochemist. Their son is like all kind science, the whole family science. Like there's an IQ of like 300, 400 at the fucking table. Ridiculous.
That's gotta be a good conversation at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they try to out PhD each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The next last question is by Kenny. It says, "What Game of the Year nominated game do you think will surprise us? Clair Obscur, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Death Stranding 2, or are they all obvious nominations this year?" I think a surprise one. I was going to say the same things. I think Split Fiction. I don't know if Split Fiction wins now because of all these other good games, but I think Split Fiction is still. It's going to get nominated. It's going to get nominated, and it could take it. It could take it. I think everyone thinks Obscure Expedition 33 is going to take it like hands down, or Death Stranding. I think Split Fiction could take it.
I like the fact that those that he named plus Split Fiction give a wide band.
Yeah,
of
across the board.
Games.
Yeah,
so that's a good pick. Those are good picks.
Yeah, I think I look. I'm always the person that says I don't care who wins Game of the Year. Just being nominated for Game of the Year is
if Astrobot can win.
Yeah,
come on, people.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I think Split Fiction. Sarge thinks Split Fiction. All right,
but if they do, Robert, it won't matter. You won't remember. You won't know.
Right. You would just blink. You wouldn't know. Like we're in a different timeline all of a sudden, right? You have no idea. You would just be wiping your ass still. You have no idea that the black hole collapsed and we're in a different universe.
We know right away when we knew the Superman movie was good.
Yeah,
we would know right away. Like, wait a minute, the Super movie's good. This is
what happened?
What the fuck happened?
Wait, Fantastic Four is fantastic. What? We've crossed over.
Like you don't even know if you want to go back now. Every movie's great.
Yeah.
You fall into a different dimension where every superhero movie is amazing. Right? And everybody there thinks it's no big deal.
Right.
Because they've been watching so many good they've been watching so many good superhero movies they don't even care anymore. Meanwhile, you're like, this is the greatest movies ever.
Yeah. Like, holy shit.
You guys made Running Man with Arnold again? What?
It's amazing. Back to the Future 15? What? This is the greatest thing ever. GXG, Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. Episode 447 is in the can. We do appreciate you very much for coming out and hanging out with us for the 2 hours and 48 minutes that we've been live. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to help us out, we do have an album. An album is called Perk Up and Press Play, and it's 20 tracks of songs that we've created based on topics, situations, and different things. Go give it a listen on all major platforms, on Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, Amazon. So links are in the description down below. Appreciate it very much. There is no stream next week at all. I'm off completely. I'm taking my yearly vacation that I do. I'll be gone for a complete week. There will be no episode of Generation X Gaming as well. So if you missed any of the past broadcasts or missed any of the things, we do podcast uploads live streams. Go check out the gameplay on 30 and Still Gaming. Go listen to the music on 30 and Still Jamming or anywhere else you can get to the album on any platform. If you want to watch the past broadcast of Generation X Gaming, go to 30 NSG. Appreciate it very much, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Game on, guys. Happy 4th of July.
Retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds